Hello, everyone, and welcome back. As always, I'm your girl, Candy Washington. So, before we dive into today's episode, which is all things Real Housewives of Potomac, the fake friends, the boring feuds, is Karen here going to jail? I really hope not. We are going to get into all of it. But before we do that, go ahead and like, subscribe, and share. It's a free way to support the show and to show some love. So, whether you're watching live or on the replay, be sure to comment down below. Let me know what your thoughts are. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Where are you watching from? What are your thoughts? What are your questions? Let's have a lot of fun. So, with that, let's dive right on in. So, we'll start with a review of the episode and the show, and then I'll go into a couple of more pressing stories and ideas and conspiracies that I have. So, first up, let's talk about the show and the girls. All right, let's see if that's better for you guys. So, to kick off, I'm not going to go too deep into Karen because she's kind of baked into everybody else's story. She's that girl, she's the main character. As we all know, she has the DUI. She has her 61st birthday. She's beefing with Gizelle, having her award ceremony at the same exact time that Gizelle has her G&A athleisure slash fundraiser for brain cancer, brain tumors in honor of her father who recently passed away. That was super shady. But a couple of things I will say about Karen. I think that Karen is scared. I think she's very scared. I think she's very fearful because she could be facing real jail time, after her DUI. It's allegedly her second offense. So, my whole thing is, I think we're seeing a very scared Karen. She seems to be on edge. She seems to be very not trusting people, which I understand. If you're, facing a court case where you just turned 61 years old, you're a mom, you're a matriarch, you're a wife, and you could be going to jail for a DUI, even if it's just like you're going to get a month or whatever, that's still scary. Going to jail is scary. So I think we're seeing a very fearful, scared Karen. Now, in relationship to Gizelle, I actually think that Gizelle is trying. I think Gizelle is trying to be there for Karen. She's trying to be supportive. The had a two-party. I think she had the best intentions. But again, the problem with these two is that there is love there between them. There is a genuine friendship there, but there's been so much distrust, shadiness, backstabbing, setting people up that now that Gizelle, that I really think is trying to change for the best, Karen doesn't believe it. So she can't receive her support in the same way because of how grimy and messy and two-faced Gizelle has been in the past. So she's like, you've bitten me so many times. When Ray was going through the tax problem, we had money issues. You had, Tax Ben, Uncle Ben t-shirts made up, and you and Robin, was very disrespectful and played in Karen's face. When Karen was renting the house, wherever whether it was Potomac or someplace, Gizelle, Robin, Ashley sent the pizza guy there. So every time Karen has been facing a crisis, whether it's her and her husband, Green Eyes, saying she's cheating. So cheating allegations, money issues and tax issues with her husband, renting a house versus owning a house versus having to leave house. Anytime Karen has faced an issue, Gizelle has backstabbed her, played in her face, and pretty much clowned her and pranked her. So I understand why Karen is not trusting of Gizelle. I think that since Gizelle has now faced her own crises, her father has passed away, her ace boon coon Robin got fired, Gizelle has been played in her face by Jamal, who lives in the phone, this, that, and the third. I think that Gizelle has been humbled, not a toxic humble. I don't believe in women being humble in a toxic way, as in you need to dim your shine, you need to know your place, you need to not, be confident. I don't believe in that. To me, that's toxic humility. To me, the positive humility is, I am great and I am wonderful, but at the same time, I need to treat people with respect. I need to know that Carmen has everybody's address. And I think that's the humility Gizelle is getting now after everything has sort of crumbled around her. But Karen can't receive that because Gizelle has bitten her so many times and kicked her so many times when she's already been down. right? So that's what I think is going on there. Now let's get into and Karen, I feel bad for her. I hope she gets I know what she did with the DUI was wrong. I know she could have hurt other people, but the fact is she didn't. So right now I think we should focus on Karen getting help if she needs it. I don't want to call anybody anything when it comes to drinking, but we'll see what happens there. Now let's move into Gizelle a little bit more with her event. Now, Gizelle was dead wrong for kicking the girls out, but I also feel Karen was dead wrong for double booking that night. But again, Karen's like, you always clown me. I don't think anything you do is legit. So I'm going to clown you back before you can clown me harder, which is why I think Karen did that. I also think Karen is trying to save face. I think she's scared. I think she's super, super embarrassed, but she doesn't want to put that armor down to be like, I'm embarrassed. This is happening to me. So she's trying to do all these performative things, like, let's have the event. I'm getting an award. It's like, Karen, you have bigger fish to fry, but it is what it is. Now, the issue with Gizelle throwing the girls out at the event, this is where I want to talk a little bit about Ashley. Gizelle, Ashley is not your friend. Ashley is your new Robin, because I don't even think Robin really was your friend. A real friend will be there to make you make rash decisions and guide you during times when you are either emotionally not in a place, like Gizelle, who's still clearly grieving the loss of her father. If you are, drunk or impaired, if you are whatever the case may be, a real friend will guide you into making the right decisions. Unlike an Ashley, unlike a Robin, because I know I'm personally not even missing Robin this season. I forgot she was even on the show, to be honest with you. But I think Ashley is the new Robin to Gizelle, where she's just become her yes person. So again, it wasn't just an event for Gizelle and her father. It was a GNA, Gizelle and Ashley Athleisure, that lives on Sheen.com, whatever the case may be. It was also Ashley's event. Ashley also had the authority to say, no, girls, stay. Or Gizelle, you're going to regret this. I know you're mad at Karen, but don't take it out on the girls. You guys need to stay. You guys need to stay. Yes, it was a fundraiser for Gizelle's father, but it was also a GNA event. That's where you really need to be careful with surrounding yourself by yes people who just say yes to you and then do your bidding. Ashley then took her little iPad, went to the little Sprinter van, being like, if you guys want to give, and the girls were like, no, thank you, get out of the Sprinter van. Like, you just kicked us out. What are you talking about? If Ashley was a real one, she would say, Gizelle, I know you're hurting right now. I know you're mad at Karen, but let's let the girls in. So she stood there like, I don't know. This is between you guys. Blah, 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 blah. Whatever. To me, Ashley this season will be the new Robin, and she's messy as hell. Also with Ashley, I think that, well, let me finish up with Gizelle, then I'll get back to Ashley. So later on in the episode, we see that Gizelle comes to her senses and she's like, you know what? I was mad at Karen and I apologize. And, I want to move forward with you ladies. That I like that she took accountability. And that's what I mean by I feel like Gizelle has been humbled in a positive way. I feel like now she realizes she has to take accountability for herself. She has to put her right foot forward. She's trying to make friends with Wendy. She's apologizing to the girls. She's trying to do right by Karen to the most capacity that she can. But again, it took her being very humbled. It took Robin being fired. It took, unfortunately, her father passing away. It took the whole internet basically coming for her gizzard neck after all of the seasons. It took Jamal playing all the way in her face, telling the entire world that, their whole entire relationship was fake and phony and just for the cameras. So it took a lot for her to finally wake up and say, you know what I'm saying? Like, I need to kind of get it together. So there's that part, right? So I think with Gizelle, we're going to see a friendly, kinder, happier Gizelle because number one, she needs to check, she needs to stay. And I feel like she's been put on notice by the producers, the same way they put Robin on notice, and Robin clearly failed that. And that's why she got fired. I think when Gizelle was demoted from her next to Andy on the reunion table, or seating arrangement, that was her being super put on notice. So I think she's going to show up and clock in. Whether or not we like her, that's up for grabs, but I do think she's going to show up and show out this season. Okay. So that's kind of where I land with Gizelle. Now let's get back to Ashley. Like I said, I think this season she's going to be the new Robin. She's going to be a yes person to Gizelle, which means she's also going to do what Robin did. She's going to be catching strays. What will be meant for Gizelle is going to hit Ashley because she's now the new yes person. She's the new mouthpiece. That is the new alliance. She's the new green-eyed bandit. I don't know what her eye color is, but you know what I mean? She's the new green-eyed bandit in that situation. So we'll see. Ashley, to me, I don't like her personality on the show. Not that I don't like her personally, because I want to be clear, because sometimes when people say I don't like someone, they think they mean it personally. I don't know this woman, never met her in my life. When I say I don't like her, I mean I don't like the persona she plays on the TV show. She's very messy. She's very mean. I don't think she's anybody's friend, and I think she's out for herself. And I think that she is so jealous of Stacy. The jealousy oozes out of every single pore of Ashley's body. Number one, Stacy is gorge. Stacy might be a little awkward. She might be a little stiff, but the woman is gorgeous. You just cannot, you can't knock it. She's gorgeous. I think she's jealous of that. I think that Ashley is jealous that Stacy has money from her hosting for QVC, but clearly her real money comes from her husband. I think she's jealous that she's still living in the big house with her husband, which is what Ashley tried to do with Michael, and clearly that didn't work out. I think that even though Stacy is divorcing her husband, I think that what Stacy had or represents is everything Ashley wanted. You know, not to make anything about race, but to have like the rich white husband, which they both have had, you know, all the money, all the status, the young wife. Those are all the things that Ashley wanted that now is kind of like not really happening with Ashley. And I sort of feel like Ashley is treating Stacy the way she treated Katie. Remember Katie? Beautiful, tall Katie, before Katie had her breakdown and all that. Katie was similar to that girl, tall, beautiful. She was dating Andrew, I think it was, again, rich white guy. And race doesn't matter. I'm just saying it because that's what it is. I'm not saying that has anything to do with it, but just to put it out there since it's out there and, you know, it is what it is. So I think Ashley was also very jealous of Katie because Katie was very similar to Stacy. I see a lot of similarities between them. They're kind of ditzy. They also had that conversation about biracial where everybody got mad at Katie for Katie saying she was biracial when she is, and it is what it was, or whatever the case may be. Then we see Ashley and Stacy having that same biracial conversation about raising their children and about, you know, Ashley being biracial, then obviously her children are and Stacy's. So we kind of have those same themes and those same conversations. And I think that with Ashley and Stacy, what we are seeing and why Stacy got so pissed at Ashley, because Ashley basically was just like telling all her business, is again, Ashley likes nobody. Ashley is nobody's friend. And I do believe that Ashley is very, very jealous of Stacy. Even though Stacy is going through a divorce, she still kind of has that template that Ashley has always wanted or aspired to. This season, I think Ashley is going to be very boring, very flat, very mean, very messy, and very bitter. There's a bitterness to Ashley. You know, even though she's not my favorite person, there used to be a spark to her, but there's a dullness to her this season. Maybe it's because the fake separation with Michael has now become a real divorce, because I don't think that when Ashley and Michael first got separated, that was real. I think it was because he wanted his privacy. He wanted to do his dirt in private and not be on camera. But I think that maybe has morphed into maybe they really are going to get divorced at some point in time. And I don't think Ashley ever thought that the separation was really going to lead to a true divorce. But there's something going on with Ashley. She's not drinking, which is fine. But have you guys noticed she's just doing mocktails and water? So I don't know what's going on there, but there's something going on with Ashley where I feel something is off with her. Okay. So now let's talk about Stacy, since we just talked about how Ashley is jealous of her. Do we like Stacey? Put it in the chat box. Let me know what you guys think about Stacey. I like Stacey. I think that she's warming up. I think she was a little bit of a slow burn, a little boring the first couple of episodes, but I actually prefer that over the new housewives that come in so hot, so fast that you're like, no, it's an automatic no. Like Katie on the OC, too hot, too fast. Like, leave Heather Dubrow alone, girl. You haven't been here for 2 seconds. Pipe down. Anna Marie in Beverly Hills, like, girl, nobody's checking for you, especially not Sutton. So go pipe down. So I actually like that Stacey is a little bit more of a slow burn, and she's getting. And I'm also happy it didn't take her 2.5 seasons like it did Jen in the OC to finally find her voice. She's finding her voice. I think she's going to be a firecracker. I think she's going to bring a lot more than we think she's going to bring. Now, a couple of things is going on here. Number one, Stacey's relationship with TJ. I am so confused. And I have so many theories on this. I want to know what you guys think about this. Okay. I want to know you guys think. So, Stacey's relationship. Either one, and I have to say this disclaimer. I say it almost in every video, but in case we have new candy canes. Anytime we talk about sexuality here or identity, it's from a place of love and inclusivity. So if we're going to talk about somebody's heterosexual relationship or homosexual relationship, whatever the case may be, it's all in, I believe we are all equal. So if I talk about that, it's coming from a place of love, not judgment or anything negative at all. So I just want to be very clear. We are love and inclusive here, and we will have those conversations because we should be having those conversations. So with that, this is how I feel. And again, this is just my opinion. So Stacey's relationship with TJ. Number one, before I break down what the hell I think is going on with them, because it's a lot. PSA to women, never date a man who wants your literal position in life. When Stacey said she met TJ when he was auditioning to be a host on the QVC, which is literally her job, I was confused. I was like, come again? What? What'd you say? He literally wants to be you? This is very different than like, oh, we are all at a law firm and I date, a lawyer who works over here and I'm a lawyer too, or we all work at the hospital. This is a different boat, okay? This is very, very different. I'm not talking about, you're two accountants and you get together. Duh. I'm talking about you're in the entertainment industry. You are a host for a shopping network and you meet your new boo thing because he wants to be a host for a shopping network. Girl, does he want to date you or is he looking for like a LinkedIn connect? I'm confused. That to me was a red flag. I was like, he's looking for a come up. He wants to be on TV. He wants to be famous. Like he's looking, to book his next gig. Like red flag, red flag, red flag. Especially, and again, this is just my personal belief. If you are the woman and you have a higher position than him because he's auditioning to get to where you're at. No. Just so many red flags there. So there's that. Now let's get into what I think is going on with her and TJ. Option number one, she is his beard and he is not into women and she's in denial about it because I don't know what guy is like, yeah, let's just like not be intimate at all. And I want to be a host on a shopping network. Again, I'm not being disrespectful. I'm not being derogatory by any means. I'm just saying my opinion on the situation. And we can always have a respectful conversation about it. Just want to be very clear. But to me, that was a little bit of a red flag where he just doesn't want to. And like, I feel sometimes people use religion as a way to have cover for if they're in the closet or if they don't feel safe to come out or comfortable to come out, or if they still want to have that quote unquote traditional life where it's like a man and a wife and kids, but maybe that's really not maybe that's what they want, but they want something else. Again, I'm not saying that this is him. I'm not putting this on him. I'm just saying, hypothetically speaking, this is what comes to mind when I think about a situation like this. Okay. So there may be something like that going on where he is a grown adult man and he's like, all of a sudden, I want to wait until marriage. But like she says in the confessional, and I'm going to get into exactly what she said with another idea that I have, he's not a virgin. So I'm confused. Second option, it's a fake relationship for the show. Maybe Stacy wanted to have a plus one for events. She wanted to have storyline, and he, as we know, wants to be on TV. He wanted to be a host for the QVC network. So maybe he wants to be a plus one on Bravo for the Real Housewives of Potomac. So it could be some fake relationship for the show. Not the first time this has happened, not the last time it happens. People have rent a boyfriends looking at you, Kenya Moore, all day long, So there's that about it. I don't know. It could be a fake showmance for the show. So she has storyline. So she has a plus one. But the reason why I'm thinking maybe not that part so much is because I do think her genuine um feeling of betrayal and irritation when Ashley brought TJ up to the group, without her permission. She seemed to be genuinely pissed off about that with everything with her daughter. But again, still could be storyline. She still could maybe want to own that narrative of how it gets out there. So maybe not, but there is that. And again, I think Ashley only said that she has a friend because she's jealous. You can see the jealousy seething out of Ashley. Like you could like touch it. It's that hot. Okay. Now, here's another situation. He's her beard in the sense of, I'm not saying talking about her sexuality, but maybe she's dating somebody who doesn't want to be on the show. Maybe she's just out there having fun, dipping it and doing it. But again, like I said, she wants a little bit of cover. Now, so it's not necessarily a fake relationship for the show, but she's faking it with him and unbeknownst to him for her own cover. I'm just thinking of all possibilities because the one possibility that I 100%, in my opinion, do not believe is that this is a real relationship. Either she is in denial and she wants, to believe that he's into her, or it's a fake relationship for the show. But the last thing I believe, in my opinion, is that it is a genuine, authentic relationship. I'm not saying she's lying. She may be in denial, but there's a fly in the milk with this situation. Okay. And then the last sort of theory I have, which kind of piggybacks off of she's just with him for cover and she knows the deal, or he knows the deal, is that she kind of like doesn't care that he may not be into women and maybe not into that. She doesn't care. She likes the comfort. She likes the companionship. She likes having someone because her ex or her soon to be ex-husband is already dating somebody. It could be one of those things where it's like, oh, you have somebody new. Well, I do too. You don't really care about who the I do too is. You just only have it because you want to lick back at your ex. You want to get back at them. You want to make them jealous. Because it seems to me, I think Gizelle was right when she's like, do you want the divorce? You seem sad. I think Stacy was going to say that she didn't want the divorce and she wanted to stay in her marriage, but then Ashley interjected and was like, oh, she already has a friend. Because Ashley is just messy and jealous and evil and mean. I don't think that, and again, just my opinion, I don't think that Stacy wants to be divorced. I think her husband was cheating on her and he wanted the divorce because basically what she said was, oh, he's seeing someone, so am I. It's been about a year. We grew apart. But you can sense, and she said, I would never be happy over a divorce. You can just get the vibe, the sense from her that this was not her decision. And it seems like since he's dating other people, they're splitting their time. He's here and she's there. To me, it just seems like a very classic tale, and not to bash men at all, because I love men. I don't mean it in this way, but it's just like the husband dips out on the wife and then he wants to get separated and then dun, 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 dun. You know what I mean? That seems what it's like. But the reason why I say this is, did you clock what Stacy said in the confessional? Because number one, words matter. Number two, people always tell on themselves. This is, and I wrote down verbatim what she said. This is what Stacy said when asked if TJ was a virgin. She said, and I quote, "He's had other partners. He doesn't want to be intimate with a woman unless she is going to be his wife." Prior to this statement, he literally said he had 0% wanted to have sex with her. Let that sink in. Because words matter and people always tell on themselves. Either, because she said he's had sex with other partners. She did not say he's had sex with other women, not even other people, partners. So does she know the sexual orientation of the partner? And then she said specifically, he doesn't want to be intimate with a woman unless she is going to be his wife. Intimate with a woman. He's had sex with other partners. What does that mean to you? So when she said that, I was like, okay, boo boo, she's in on the okie doke. You know, people have their own, what they do behind closed doors. I personally don't care. You get in where you fit in, whether you want to have male partners, female partners, trans partners. I don't care. Do you have consent? Be safe. Do you? I don't care. But words matter. And the way she said that, the way I read it was, she knows what his preference is in partners. And she didn't say that he currently wasn't having sex. She said he doesn't want to be intimate with a woman. She said what she said, and she said it with her whole chest. Y'all read into that how you want to. He also said, I have 0% interest in having sex with you. So right there, he is telling you, I am not into you, because he wants to have sex with a woman that's going to be his wife. If a man was, and the reason why I bring religion into it is because it really irritates me. I'm not particularly religious, but I am spiritual and I believe in God and I love God. So it really pisses me off when people bastardize and they use religion or God as an excuse and as cover to do what they want to do in the dark. And they don't want to bring it to the light. And they use religion or God as a cover. Oh, God's judgment, religion, blah, 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 blah. The Bible says, no, knock it off. Knock it off. Say what you are and what you want to do and say it with your whole chest. Because at the end of the day, God still loves you. God is not judging you. Everything will be okay. Don't use religion as cover to get away with your secrets and your dirt. So that's why I bring it into it, because that's what's really irritating. And when people do that, they make other people not want to have a relationship with God because they think, oh, well, I'm going to be judged. I'm going to be condemned, blah, 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 and all of that crap, which isn't true. God is love and God is forgiveness and God is being who you are authentically, right? Well, that's just my opinion on it. So that's what really irritates me when people use that as cover. But you're not going to sit here in a confessional and say with your whole chest, he's had sex with other partners, but he doesn't want to be intimate with a woman unless it's his wife. And then talk about because God said so. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. Like, absolutely not. Absolutely not. And he's like, they're not judging us. They're judging God. They're judging the Bible. They're judging religion, whatever he says. Knock it off, sir. Knock it off. Knock it off. Crazy. But I do like Stacy, and I do think that I think she's gonna be a really good housewife, and I want to see everything unfold with her. I do find it a little bit questionable as to why she waited until filming started. Maybe that was just strategy before telling, Karen, because Karen's the one who brings around the show, that she's been separated for a year from her husband. I don't know what's going on with that, but who knows? Who knows? Who knows? Who knows? So there's that part. Okay, so we talked about all of them. Wendy is going to be short and sweet because Wendy to me is boring. I I like Wendy. I do. I like Wendy. I don't think she's mean or anything like that. I like Wendy. I like, laughing Eddie. I think they have beautiful children, but I think she's boring. That's just my opinion. I want to know what you guys think. Put it down below. I'm not invested in the grandparents don't like her, Eddie's parents, blah, blah, blah. They're coming to the birthday party. I don't care. Wendy said she's turning 40. Is it just me? But I thought Wendy was like 47, but she's turning 40. I don't know. I don't know anymore how people look. I don't know with like fillers and filters and Botox and nips and tucks, but I thought Wendy was like 47 years old. I had no idea Wendy was in her 30s this entire time. No idea. Anyway, no tea, no shade. I was just shocked. I think she's boring to me, and that's pretty much it. And also, I saw some people were saying, "Oh, Wendy let Gizelle off too easy." I thought it was the other way around. I thought she was being unnecessarily still begrudging in her confessionals. Like, I get they've had a history, I get everything, but I also think it's kind of time to like start really afresh and anew. Like, let's just let some of that old crap go. It's stale, it's corny. We all know who Giselle is. We all know what happened with the, blogger rumors and blah, blah. But at this point in the game, all of the women have had very nasty, negative, embarrassing things come out about them, allegedly true or false, on the show, from the blogs, from each other, coming out like they've all done it. Nobody is clean at this point. Like, I think we just need to start fresh and go on. You know what I mean? From there, because I also think that I do also kind of agree with Gizelle, where she's like, well, it is kind of hard to be friends with you when you're very like condescending and you don't let anything go and like all of this stuff. I agree with that. To me, Wendy's a little bit boring. She's a little rigid. She's very, very self-righteous. I don't dislike her, but she's a snore. She's a snore. I don't know what you guys think. Let me know. Okay. Now let's get into who's left. Let's talk about Kiana. I'm just gonna call her KK. Sorry, Kiana. And then we'll get into Messy Mia, who is just disgusting to me. Absolutely gross. Personality. I mean, I don't mean looks. I mean personality. KK, I think she's really sweet. She seems like a beautiful girl. However, I will say this. I'm not sure, and this is just based on the like preview clips that we've seen of her and her boyfriend slash want to be fiance, but just they are moving in together. Her man. Um, I'm not sure that's gonna work out because in the scene we haven't seen it yet, but they did the preview. She's like, I feel like I'm small around you, or like I shrink around you, or something. And he says something really abusive back to her, something really mean back to her. I don't know. I forgot exactly what he said, but I was like, oh, no, 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 girl, you need to, no, you need to stop. And he just seemed he just had a weird energy. Like, oh, you have all this stuff. It's not going to fit. This very weird. What he said, I thought was really horrible. And my gut reaction was like, girl, you in danger and you need to leave. So that's where I kind of feel on her. Also, I'm calling BS on, and I thought it was, it would kind of give me the ick because for Kiriana or KK, Kirana, whatever her name is. I'm sorry. Sorry, girl. She's so beautiful, so cool, so chic, so fun, so fashionable, so accomplished. But then she's like, when she's talking to her mom, well, I don't want to be one of those thirsty ring girls. Like, those like thirsty ring girls who are like thirsty for their ring. Girl, boo boo. Number one, thou dost protest too much. If you are not, quote, a thirsty ring girl, you would not be sitting around with your mother talking about how you're not a thirsty ring girl. That means you are a thirsty ring girl. You brought it up multiple times. Oh, my mom said, when's the ring before you move in? But I'm not a thirsty ring girl. Then she has the scene with her mom. Oh, you're not a thirsty ring girl. Girl, you are a thirsty ring girl. That's why you brought it up multiple times. Thou dost protest too much. With that being said, I personally don't think that there's anything wrong with wanting to be engaged before you move in, wanting to know what the trajectory of your relationship is, what his intentions are to you. So you're not going to be with a man who's going to waste years of your life because you want to front like you're some cool girl who doesn't care. News flash, the cool girl who doesn't care gets nothing. A closed mouth doesn't get fed. Trying to be the cool girl. I don't care about commitment. Let's just go with the flow. Let's just see where this goes. I'm not thirsty, needy, or desperate. The truth is, that's actually rooted in low self esteem because people who act like that, the core belief is I'm not worthy, I'm not good enough, that abandonment wound. So instead of actually saying what my needs are, what my wants are, I'm going to pretend I don't have any needs or wants. So you don't leave me. So I don't come across as needy, as desperate. Because the core fear is that if I say this is what I want, I'm going to be too much. I'm not going to be good enough and you're not going to choose me. You're going to abandon me and you're going to leave me. And then you leaving me reinforces my core belief that I'm not good enough. I'm not lovable. Nobody stays. I'm not worthy of commitment. So that whole cool girl, thirsty ring stuff, you need to go to therapy and you need to work on loving yourself. You need to work on getting yourself confident. You need to work on your communication skills to say to a man that you've been with for X, Y, and Z years, if you want me to move in with you, if you want me to act like a wife, then I need a ring. Then I need to know what the trajectory of our life is, so I don't waste another second of my life on a man who does not want me. Because a man will waste years of your life knowing fully well he does not want you. So you need to figure that out. But all that cool girl, I'm not a thirsty ring girl stuff, that's not cute. It's not cute. It's not doing what you think it's doing, because anybody who is healthy and confident understands that that means you're not. That's why he treats you like that, to be perfectly honest, because you're acting like the cool girl. But what he sees is this is a girl I can use and take advantage of. She's going to do what I want when I want, and I don't really have to give her anything. This is a girl who's going to prove to me how cool and worthy she is just so I don't leave her. So at the end of the day, you're actually keeping the man, because being kept isn't always about money, right? So girl, that's my advice to you, because you are beautiful, you are funny, you're intelligent, you got it going on, and I feel like you could do 1,000% better than this guy. But the first step with you is getting right with you, because there's nothing cute about being the cool girl who's not thirsty for the ring, because you're going to wake up in 10, 15, 20 years and you're going to realize where that cool girlness got you. And it won't be a ring with a man. Just telling you that much. Okay, so that's where I land on her. Now let's talk about messy ass Mia. Okay? I'm going to sum Mia up with these couple of articles that I found. And I'm going to talk about Mia. Okay. So my thoughts on Mia is that she has a full-on revenge plot when it comes to Karen. So at first I was like, why is Mia coming so hard for Karen in like this really crazy psycho way? And then I was like, oh, it's because it was either last season or the season before that. It was Mia felt that Karen didn't have her back 100% when it was the Mia and Wendy physical altercations, right? Remember when they were like the girls were fighting, like going back and forth. Mia threw a drink, she threw her back, and Karen was like, both of y'all are wrong. Wendy's mouth was wrong, but your hands were wrong, so you cancel each other out. And then Mia was pissed, like, Karen, you didn't have my back, you're not my girl, this, that, and the third, blah, 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 right? Mia is being very vindictive and vengeful ever since then. Then she tried to get Karen back with the whole "you're cheating, I heard those rumors," whatever. So to me, I feel like that should have been squashed. The beef should have been squashed. You felt like Karen didn't have your back, which I actually was on Karen's side with that. You got her back with the cheating rumors, cool. But she's still being very vindictive and vengeful. Number one, did you clock how when Jacqueline came into the Hatitude party for Karen's birthday, she said, "Oh, yeah, Karen's been calling me and she's been drunk on the phone." And all the girls were like, "Wait a minute, like recently?" And she's like, "Yeah, like after the DUI." Jacqueline and Mia are BFF scissor sisters. So clearly everything that comes out of Jacqueline's also Mia's little pet thing. So everything that comes out of Jacqueline's mouth is already been co-signed, scripted by Mia. So the fact that Jacqueline comes out the gate going for Karen, saying on camera that Karen was drunk calling her after the DUI is so messy, so messed up, and premeditated. Number two, Jacqueline made the comment about letting the courts decide on what happens with Karen. That is horrible. Number one, Karen is up against real stakes. She could go to jail with a capital JAIL, jail. This isn't some first offense situation where, I hope she just gets community service, to be honest with you. I'm team Karen. I hope she gets community service and I hope she gets court mandated rehab. That's what I want for Karen. Court mandated rehab. She has to go to rehab, like a real rehab, and she has to do community service. That's what I want for Karen. But she could face actual jail time. So the fact that you have Jacqueline coming up talking about she's calling me drunk, fact saying I want the courts to decide, then you have it being foreshadowed that Mia is saying to Karen again on camera and in the confessional, because the real fight is gonna pop off next episode, but was all foreshadowed. Karen needs to admit guilt. She needs to admit her fault. Then she brings the court documents on the trip, reading them to everybody, all of the charges, trying to bait Karen into admitting something on camera about the incident, knowing that the court case is pending and knowing that anything Karen says or does can be used against her and will be used against her in the court of law when she literally has to go to court to not go to jail, is vindictive and evil and messy and disgusting on a whole different level. Mind you, all of the Jacqueline stuff and Mia trashing Karen on social media, she had a whole social media smear campaign against Karen after the DUI, all happened prior to the Hatitude party, which is when Karen was like, "Oh, what's going on with your kids and Ink and Gordon, all of that stuff." So Mia can't even say, "Oh, you talked about my kids and that's why I'm coming after you," because all of that happened before, except for the trip stuff, because that's coming next episode. But the Jacqueline stuff, the social media smear campaign, all of that happened. Just Google it. A bunch of stuff comes up. Mia bashing Karen's DUI and blah, 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 and mugshot. And I have a clip too. I got to find that. I got to find that. So actually, let me see if I can bring that up now. Let me see if I can do that, you guys. All of that happened prior to that. So she can't be like, "Oh, I'm just on a get back because you brought up my kids." No, Mia, you've been doing this 100, prior to that. And I'm just like, what is going on where she's that evil and vindictive, where she's trying to, set Karen up on camera? Because she literally said she needs to admit fault and she needs to admit guilt or whatever she said. Why in the hell would Karen admit fault and guilt on camera prior to a court case where she could go to jail? Mia, you're not stupid. You might be dumb, but you're not stupid. And to me, that's a different type of evil. I knew Mia was messy and vindictive, but there's an evilness to her that's coming out. Same way the way she treats Gordon. Same exact way she treats Gordon. Let me see if I have a slide on that. Okay, let's, I'll get into that. Let's wrap this one up, then I'll get into that one. So, yes. So this is kind of what I feel as like Mia's revenge plot against Karen. I want to know what you guys think. Put on your candy cane critical thinking hats and let's see if we can get to the bottom of this. Why is Mia going this hard for Karen, knowing that the stakes is Karen going to actual jail? It can't just be the fact that Karen, was neutral Switzerland when it came to her fight with Wendy, when Mia was the one that put hands on Wendy. There has to be something deeper going on here. I'm going to see what's going on, but is in on it. It's crazy. And then we had Mia out here posting this type of stuff.
So, this is what you do when you're going to go out and you're going to do some drinking. You hire a driver. Note to self. So, this is what you do when you're going to go out and you're going to do some drinking. You hire a driver. Note to self. So, this is what you do when you're going to go out and you're going to do some drinking.
So this is the type of stuff that Mia has been posting since she got the DUI. Shade, her mug shot, all of this stuff on social media. So this is very public, and to me, I'm just like, why? Why take it to this level? If you want to get in a little verbal spit spat, whatever, that's cool. But this woman is literally unraveling, so much full of fear and embarrassment and shame already. This is how you want to treat her? Oh, and this was the other part. When Mia says to Karen, and I don't want to get too frou-frou, but you guys know me. I am who I am, and if you know me, you know me. I fully believe in being so careful in the words that you accept that people speak over you and into your life, because people will try to curse you and you don't even realize it. And I'm going to be honest, this is what I mean. When Mia was talking to Karen and they're in their Sprinter van, and Mia's talking about, well, it's all in the press. Everybody knows. You're not talking about it, Karen. And she goes to Karen, she goes, you're going to break, or she's like, you're going to have a breakdown. She either said you're going to break or you're going to have a breakdown, something like that. And that, when I got chills, I was like, Mia, you are a witch. You're evil as hell. And you're trying to curse Karen over her life. And I don't mean to be like frou-frou, but you just have to be careful with the words you accept that people speak over you. And you see Karen's face and she's kind of like, whoa, and it kind of seeps in because she's speaking that into Karen over her. Why would you ever say that to somebody you claim to love or care about? If my friend, even if I'm beefing with my friend, but they could go to jail, the last thing I would say to them is, you're going to break. You're going to have a breakdown. That's an affirmation into somebody. I would be like, you know what? I know this is really scary. This is a tough time, but you are fully supported. We got you. If you need to, let it out, you can let it out. We're here for you. We got you. Boom, 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 boom. You know what I mean? So just be careful. It's a little frou-frou, but if somebody is saying to you, you're going to break, you're going to have a breakdown, you're going to crack, run. Rebuke it in the name of Jesus and run. Do not accept that into your life. Run, 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 run. So that's why I was saying, like, I knew Mia was always messy. I knew she was a liar. I knew things didn't add up, but it's a different type of evilness she's got going on right now. So as always, I want to know what you guys think. Put it down below. Share, like, subscribe. Okay. So with that, let's move on to my next thoughts on Mia. Girl, you in danger, but it's a danger of your own making. You're about to be the inspiration of a Lifetime movie. And what I'm about to say, I say not that I want this to happen, but I think it's a cautionary tale. And I think she should be careful about the way she's moving right now. So as we know, Mia and Gordon got together when Mia was a dancer, a stripper. At that point, Gordon had a lot of money. Either he did or allegedly he did. Let's just say he did, because it seems like, he had the businesses with his family. He had the cars, he had the life, he had the money. And he was like, girl, I'll change your life. Come get with me. You can sleep with other men if you want. I'm older. I have some prostate issues. So if you want to sleep with younger men, that's fine. Just let me know. Don't let the kids be involved, but I'm going to give you this life. I'm going to get you the cars. I'm going to get you the houses. I'm going to get you the bags, blah, 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 blah. She's living this lavish lifestyle. Then all of a sudden, the money dries up. He gets kicked out of the businesses of his family's business, right? There's lawsuits, there's no more money. The big house is gone. The cars are gone. All of that is gone. Then Mia's like, well, I'm out of here. You knew what this was. You were paying to keep me. There's no more money. I'm out. She then goes and gets with a guy she used to be with, on and off for decades, this guy, Ink. Now, all of a sudden, Ink is like, oh, your son, Gordon, I want a paternity test because that could be my son, because Mia and I were smashing during the time that he was conceived, meaning she was cheating on Gordon with Ink, because Gordon has come out and said, I don't know why she felt the need to sneak around when I said it's okay if you need to get, your rocks off with somebody else, just let me know. And apparently she still wanted to sneak around with him with Ink. Now they're coming out with that whole situation. Now she's living with Ink, or Ink lives with her part-time all the time, whatever the case may be. The kids are coming to Gordon being like, I saw mommy and Ink in bed together prior to them properly separating. Ink lives in the same apartment, or Ink and now Gordon live in the same apartment complex. On top of all of that, Mia has been very disparaging about Gordon. Oh, he's a predator. He is broke. He's crazy. He's abusive. These are wild claims to be making, particularly about the father of your children, who lives in the same building with you, who basically still cohabitates with you, because on camera in front of your kids, you're complaining about him coming over for coffee and how you and Ink did his clothes and laundry, and Ink was folding his underwear. Like, very weird, codependent enmeshment, just weird stuff going on. So I say all of that to say this: you are playing with fire, Mia. You are being set up to be the plot of a Lifetime movie. I don't want this to be, but Gordon to me seems like a man who is on the edge. He's already come out and said he's bipolar. This is what he has come out and said. He said he's bipolar, maybe something else. He's come out and talked about his health, because he had some health issues going on. He clearly had some drinking stuff going on. He's been very, inebriated and drunk on camera a few times. I'm not saying he has a problem. I'm just saying we've seen him drink to excess. She's talked about abuse, all this other stuff. There is only so far, and I'm not saying this would justify him doing anything. Don't get it twisted. I am not saying if he did something, he would be justified. Hell no, absolutely not. No. But what I am saying is that you need to be careful playing with people. You can only push a person so far. A person, yes, but in this situation, you can only push a man so far. You are on camera in front of his children and in front of the world, calling him abusive, calling him a predator, talking about his sexual performance or lack thereof. You are now questioning the paternity of his child. You are now emasculating him with having a whole nother man, basically trying to replace him and laughing at him. You could only push someone so far. And we've seen, people snap for less. And to me, it seems like a very toxic environment that is brewing for something to pop off the next Lifetime movie. Like, she was taken by her husband and her ex. And I don't know, two unalives and another unalive in the night. I don't know. But I would not be, this is just, you're putting gasoline on an already burning fire. Then you have Ink in the situation, who is basically coming in and on pissing on Gordon's territory. I want a paternity test about this guy. I'm having sex with your wife in your house. Your children know that I'm having sex with her. Your children are reporting back to you that I'm having sex with her. Now the entire world knows this. You can only push a person so far before they snap. And when you continuously berate someone, disrespect someone, dismiss someone, emasculate someone, belittle someone, embarrass and humiliate someone who you already know is struggling with their mental health, that you're waiting for something to pop all the way off. All the way off. It's just, to me, I'm looking at the situation like, Mia, you in danger, girl. You in danger. People pop off for a lot less. For a lot less. And I'm sorry, Mia, but you're being hella disrespectful to Gordon. You really are. And your children are going to see this. Karen's right. Your children are going to see this. You brought a whole man into the house. You have the right to move on. You have the right to live your life. You don't have to stay with someone if you're not in love or whatever the case may be. But you do it in a way with dignity and respect to all parties. This, to me, it's just waiting to happen. And the fact that you're calling Ink your savior, again, goes to your level of delusion, because Ink is the epitome of a man making a damn clown fool out of a woman. Because Mia, you look like a damn clown fool. Number one, Ink doesn't really want you, because if he wanted you, he would have been had you. But he didn't want you. He wanted to play with you, and he wanted to use you. And when he was done playing and using you, and you went off to Gordon or the other men or whatever you were doing, he was trying to kick it with Jacqueline, your BFF girl. And Jacqueline, with her dodo brains, like, he wanted to meet up with me, but I said no because I didn't want no parts of that. You do realize this is your so-called best friend, and now you're saying to the entire world that the man she is now with wanted to have sex with you and sleep with you. That's hella disrespectful. But again, this is Ink. I'm not surprised. And again, this is all my opinion based on what they're telling us. He doesn't want you. He wanted to play with you. He wanted to have sex with you. He wanted to have fun with you and to use you, but he didn't want you. If he wanted you, he would have been had you. You would have never been in the position where you were dancing at the club and doing whatever you were doing at the club and to meet Gordon if Ink actually had any love and respect for you. And this is no disrespect to dancers or sex workers or anything like that. I think if that's your chosen profession, that is fine, as long as you are safe and it is consensual. Do what you want to do. So no disrespect to people who choose that profession at all. I'm just saying, in this situation, if he really cared about you, you wouldn't have been out there dipping it and doing it for some dollar bills. Let's just put it that way. Okay, sweetheart? Also, he had, however long you and Gordon were together, 11 plus years, because I think Jeremiah is 8. That's your oldest. And then you were with him a couple years. So you guys have been together about 11, 12 years. So he's had over a decade to turn back around and come get you. But he didn't. He only came back when you were on television, when you had a little bit of money, when you had a little bit of fame, which is what he wants. He wants your money and he wants your fame. He wants to suck the life out of you and take your place. He doesn't really want you. Also, if he really thought Jeremiah, who is now all of 8 or 9 years old, again, he's had almost a decade, if this man actually thought this boy was his, why did it take until the cameras were rolling for him to say, I want a paternity test? Because he doesn't really care about being a father to Jeremiah. He's probably thinking, I could probably get some child support. If Jeremiah turns out to be mine, I could probably get some child support, because he's not going to stay with you. Once you're off the show, once the cameras are down, he's going to leave you, because he only came back to you when the cameras were up and you had a little bit of clout. This DJ or whatever the hell he's calling himself. And he's playing in your face and he's making you look like a freaking clown. Not physically, but by the way you're moving like a clown. You are being so disrespectful to Gordon. And I really like Gordon. Do I believe Mia and all her claims against him? I don't. And I'm a person who I am like believe victims, believe women all day, every single day. But I'm also not stupid. I think her claims of abuse and grooming, because she's like, oh, when I was 19, he was doing all like, how did you even know Gordon when you were 19? If you met Gordon when you're 19 and you guys were together, you would be your early 30s. Mia, don't play in our faces. You're not your early 30s, sweetheart. If you saying you met Gordon when you were 19, you guys have been together for 11 years, that puts you at like what? 30, 31, 32? Girl, stop playing. Stop playing in our faces. You're not early 30s. Knock it off, sweetheart. Because remember, before she didn't know what her age was, which doesn't matter, but knock it off. So all these convenient allegations against Gordon, do I think there was probably verbal abuse in mental manipulation in the marriage? Yes. But do I think it's to the level of like abuse with the big A? In my opinion, no. I think they both were probably going at it and being mean and low blows and being emotionally and verbally abusive to each other. I think they probably both were going. I don't think that justifies it. I'm not saying it's okay. No, not at all. But do I think it's something that is so abnormal where I would be like, Gordon is a predator and he's abusive? No, I don't think that's true. And again, that's just my opinion on the situation. That's just I wasn't with them. I wasn't behind the closed doors. I'm just going off of how I see her moving, you know? So, Mia, you and Danger Girl, and calling any person your savior is whack, boring. You look like a clown, you look like a fool. I don't know whatever you think you're doing, you're not doing it. That's not it. To me, you are a Lifetime movie waiting to happen, like the day he snapped, or something like that. Just because I'm sorry, but like you can only push someone so far with what you're doing. And you are really getting at him at all the core pillars of a man. He's broke, he ain't got no money. He can't, he's sick and he can't have sex anymore. His son isn't his son. Paternity, right? Ink is my savior now. He's now my protector, provider. You are literally assassinating this man on every single pillar of quote manhood, and you expect nothing to happen? Girl, you in danger. 1 second. Mia's ghost is trying to come and get me. So just be careful, Mia, playing with this man. You might just bite off more than you can chew. So let me know what you guys think. Be sure to put it down below. Okay, let's see. Oh, this is just about Karen's request to dismiss her DUI case was denied due to illegal search. We all know that. Okay, and we talked about Ashley and Stacy. Okay, so I think that was everything, you guys. I think I touched on everyone. So just to quickly summarize, Karen, I'm rooting for Karen. I think that she is very scared that she's going to go to jail. I think she's embarrassed. I think she's humiliated. I don't think her and Ray are in a good place. I think now it seems like they're just sort of like roommates living together rather than husband and wife. That's the vibe I'm getting. I'm rooting for Karen. I hope she has to go to rehab and gets community service. I really don't want her to go to jail. So let's see how everything unravels. But I feel like Mia is going to be the Tamara Judge and Karen is going to be the Shannon Bedore. So we'll see. Stacy, I really like Stacy. I think she's going to come into her own. She's going to have her own voice. However, I'm going to need her to stop playing in our faces with this fake TJ relationship. I don't know if she believes it, but I don't believe it. Stop playing in our face, Stacy. And let's see what happens. Ashley, I think she's going through something. Maybe, oof, I don't know if I want to say this because it just came to my mind. I'm going to say it, but I'm going to say it with a disclaimer. Oof. I'm going to say it, but I'm going to say it with a disclaimer. I'm not a doctor. I don't diagnose. This is just what popped in my head. This is just my observation. I'm not saying this is true, and I'm not a doctor. But Ashley to me seems like something's off. Yes, she seems bitter and jealous, but she's always been bitter and jealous. And she's not drinking. Maybe she's on a antidepressant or something, some type of medication where she can't mix it with alcohol because her spark isn't there. Because I've never really liked Ashley, but she's always had a spark. She's always had a spunk to her. But now there's a dullness to her. I don't know. I'm not saying she is. I'm not a doctor. I'm not saying anything like that. But that just popped in my head thinking about it. I think Ashley's going to be messy as always, but it's going to be even more mean spirited. I think she's good. The new Robin to Gizelle. She's going to be her yes person. Wendy to me is boring. This could be her last season, and I would not care. My gut says she did not leave teaching on her own accord. I think she was asked to step down and they gave her the option to resign. That's just my gut feeling. Because I think Wendy Osefo, 4 degrees Wendy, she would have just taken a sabbatical or a hiatus. You know, you could take a year's whatever, but to resign seemed very dramatic and very performative. I think that whatever, university she was it John Hopkins or whatever it was, that she was, adjunct professor at or whatever. I don't think they wanted to be associated with the show anymore. And I think they gave her the option to resign and she took it. Gizelle, I think we're going to see a softer Gizelle, but I think that's because life has really humbled her in a positive way. She's still not my fave or my cup of tea. She still doesn't really give, but I do understand why they kept her this season. KK, I'm going to need you to go to therapy, work on your self-esteem and your self-worth, and thinking that you're not a ring thirsty girl, that's not cute. We see through that. What you really think about yourself is, I'm not worthy. I'm not good enough. And I'm scared that if I say that's what I want, he'll leave me. So I'm going to pretend I don't want it. But you deserve it, girl. All right. So that's what I think about everything, you guys. So as always, be sure to like, subscribe, and share, and put your comments down below. And tomorrow I'm going to do a Beverly Hills. I know Beverly Hills is not filming right now, or isn't airing right now, but I just want to catch up on all of the latest and greatest from Beverly Hills. Wednesday, we'll be doing Salt Lake City. Wednesday, New York City. Thursday, Salt Lake City. And Friday, we'll be doing the OC. So with that, I'm going to drop the link in case anybody wants to come up and chat. No pressure. And I'll take some of your candy cane questions in the comments before. All right. So Annie says, delight to have you back. Thank you. I've missed you and your delightful commentary. Hope you're doing well. Yay. Thank you, Annie. Thank you, sweetheart. Reality Connoisseur says, I miss you so much, Candy. Oh, I miss you too. Nobody has your perspectives. I may not always agree, but it sure opens my eyes to other scenarios. Oh, thank you. That's right, you guys. Here with the Candy Cane Gang, we don't have to always agree, but we just come and we chat and we have fun. Hey, Adam, sending my fire emojis. Hey, fellow Candy, sending some love. Thank you. Hey, X1, the John, I can't stand Ashley. Me either. It goes, hey, a new subscriber, LOL. Ah, thank you. Welcome to the Candy Canes. I hope I said your name correctly. Is it Zach Juan the John? Let me know if I said it correctly. Candy goes, Ashley, gross. I love it. Hey, Nataski says, oh my God, Candy, you look gorgeous. Oh, thank you, sweetheart. Thank you. I appreciate that. I receive it. Nataski says, that was a warning for sure. Yep. Stacy lives a life Ashley wishes she had. 100%. 100%. For sure, that was the life Ash was going for. Yep. Adam says, yo, hey, Adam. Goes, not the fake separation with Michael. No, for real, because you guys, I'm so serious about it. I don't think Ashley thought the separation with Michael was going to be real. And I think that he kind of got a taste for freedom and it was like, I'm out of here. Oh, Adam, feel free to jump in whenever you're ready.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. It's a Monday, but I got over it. um, I have mixed opinions about this episode. I think it was entertaining to some degree, but I with Mia, like we know her intentions. Like I just to me, like when Monique left the show for her own reasons because she couldn't stand these horrible women, um, it. I know she was introduced by Karen, who I love, but she just seems like some wannabe the whole time, like just some wannabe Monique, wannabe Kenya Moore, but a kind of like a even more toxic version. And I I kind of feel that everything with her is like a double-edged sword. Like her life, like is all about just monetary value. Like if, as you said, you know, with Gordon being kicked out of the family business, whatever the dispute was, she was just like, let me get with this guy who dumped me 5,000 times again. And I was like, I'm sorry, but that whole thing where he's like, oh, she's like, oh, he's a radio personality. That is so whack. Like, overall,
Yeah, I agree. I agree. Keep going.
My favorite scene in the whole episode was when the jazzy girl shut the door on Ashley. I was on the floor when I watched that. I couldn't stop laughing. I really couldn't stop laughing. Like, and she was like, "Yeah, I checked it on myself, and it didn't hurt you, boo." Like, that was priceless. Like to me, in this cast, like I know it's an unpopular opinion, but after Karen, my second favorite cast member would have to be Ashley. I know how unpopular that is, but to me, judging through the whole seasons that we've had, like the 8 other seasons, you know, we have Karen and Gizelle and their dynamic, how they've known each other for years, but a lot of the mess and a lot of the entertainment has been through her. And, you know, I'm not saying like I would want to be best mates of her, but kind of with Renna, like Renna was good, but as soon as season 12 happened, she had to go. Like after season 10 and season 11, but prior to season 10, and other than the Lisa Vanderpump scene, she was pretty damn entertaining. But I'm not really feeling this brand new cast member, Kiana. Like her scene was like kind of flat, and I actually would have preferred it if the jazzy girl was the housewife. To me,
I kind of agree with that. Jazzy's giving more energy, more oomph, more personality. I agree with what you're saying. But hold on for just 1 second, okay? Because
sure
I
thing.
want to get to this question that Emmanuel said, and you can weigh in too. Emmanuel says, and hey, Emmanuel, welcome, sweetheart. Not in a specific situation, but do you think men can actually have that religious standard in a relationship with a woman? Yes, I do. Yes, I do. I think that they can have that religious, like if they truly, like let's just say, like authentically, like they truly believe this is their religious belief that they do not want to have sex before being married, and that is truly their religious belief, then yes, 100%, I think that's possible. However, usually the man and the woman would be of the same religion and they would share that belief. I think that would really help in doing this from an authentic standpoint, that both of them would have the same religion and they would share that belief. So it wouldn't be something that he is imposing on her, but it's a value, a belief system that they share together, that they are going into this, this is what we both believe, or, she willingly, through her own volition, agrees to hold this same value he does.
I
Also, I
agree.
think, thank you. And then also, I agree. I think that one of the biggest missing components about this is not that he's saying he wants to save himself from marriage, but the fact that he is saying he has zero interest in having sex with her. I think that the man would have to say, of course I want to have sex with you. You're sexy and you're amazing and you turn me on, but this is the value that I hold, and I want to save that, but I can't wait to have that with you. And I know you didn't mean their specific situation, but that to me is what the biggest missing piece is that he has zero sexual. He literally said K, which stands for zero, I guess, and maybe some like language or periodic table or something. I don't know. He said he had 0% he wanted to have sex with her. Like what? I think that even if you hold the religious belief that you want to wait to have sex for a marriage, that doesn't mean that your sexual desire isn't there. It means that you are not acting on it based on your belief. So I think that it can work if it's real, but both people still need to have the sexual desire to be together, but choosing to hold on to the value of we're going to save that aspect of our relationship until after we get married. So I do think that men can actually hold that religious standard in a relationship with a woman, but like you said, it's not the specific situation, but I don't believe that to be true with them. So what do you guys think? And hey, Natasha, and great question, Emmanuel.
I agree with you. I feel that that's kind of a mutual thing. Like, if one person has that and the other person doesn't have that perspective, then how's the compatibility going to work? Literally, I think you spelled it out. How I agree with you. I feel that it's either a mutual feeling or not type of thing.
I agree. I like your explanation. I felt like you articulated how I would describe it too. They want to, but it's a sacrifice you're making. Not that it's not a sacrifice for religious purposes if you have no desire. Like you just don't want to do it then.
Exactly.
Like,
And it's just cover for what you are doing. Because you guys,
and then the question is, what do you want to do?
no, I'm gonna read it again. When the producer, shout out to this shady producer, is he a virgin? She literally said, because I wrote this down. I was like, I can't believe this. And then she had this little smirk on her face. I'm like, that's what I was like. Okay, so Stacey, he's not into women, and you're fine with that because you want to just have this fake relationship on the show.
Yeah, because she's
And
too old to like fall for any weird thing that you might when you were like
exactly.
20 years old.
And or maybe he is like fluid and she is too, and whatever they do behind closed doors is their grown folk business, and that's fine, no judgment. But I don't think that she is in denial. I think she's in on whatever is going on because she had a look on her face, and she literally said he's had other partners, which is usually code for same sex. Then she says he doesn't want to be intimate with a woman, clearly highlighting the sex, unless she's going to be his wife.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, what about anyone else?
I mean, to me,
What?
as you said, that the wording is odd. Like,
No, the wording isn't odd. The wording is very specific. For
like,
what I'm saying?
I get what you're saying, but like,
yeah.
I just wouldn't like.
Yeah.
I don't know if someone said that to me. If someone said that to me, like I would. I don't know. Like I'm just gonna throw it out there on the table. Like to me, it kind of seems like a very Guy Eddie type of thing with Tamra Judge.
But what if
like
the slim chance?
I'm just saying that it really does seem like a very Guy Eddie thing. Like,
and I'm not saying I think this, but what if the slim chances was like a really gnarly like cut and paste job from the producers, like asking the questions that like, and then like, ooh, and I don't know.
Like
no, I think it was real. I don't think it
I
was
do too.
editing, because they're always like, oh, edit. No, because she said it, and then she had this
Because
like,
I've heard people say edit. Yeah, that's why I said it.
yeah. But she
Like-
had this little like smirk twinkle on her face, and that's when I was like, oh, so she's in on it. So I think
Yeah.
maybe she's a little freak behind closed doors, little, everybody join.
See,
which,
in
again,
my head,
do you.
I'm gonna be really honest. I've only seen like 90% of this last episode, and that's about as far as the season I've seen so far, because I just wanted to be a little in on the little show tonight.
Yeah.
But
oh my
Already-
god, sweet Miss T's comment is funny.
what she
Which
said,
one?
the hug at the gym said.
She just commented right now the hug at the gym.
Okay, so the thing, like my gut instinct, like I don't even know if this was clarified or not, but like just watching it, like as like super unbiased, just flash pan reaction.
Mm-hmm.
In my head, I'm going, oh, she wants to make her ex kind of jealous because he's moved on, and this is like her best friend or like friend. Well, she's already said he was her friend. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean,
No,
the guy probably claimed to be like fluid, and maybe like the guy always like her husband maybe like made comments about like questioning whether does he like you, but she deep down knew he didn't, and like, you know what I mean, one of those. So she knew it would like bug him. I don't know, like in my like I just like thought like she was like, yeah, we were that known couple. I don't know anything about the relationship. I don't even know what she said about the demise of her relationship, but like I don't know what made me think that she, like you, I agreed with you that she wasn't the one. It wasn't her idea to end it. Am I right?
yeah,
I felt the same way.
I kind of think, if she just said something like to me, she kind of worded it so long. Like if she just said, at the end of the day, I wasn't happy and what have you. I believe her phrasing was like, after 16 years, unfortunately, it has to end, or whatever. It was like not exactly quoting, but it wasn't saying like I'm really it has to end because I'm not happy. She was like, oh, I'm not. It's unfortunate, and like you can obviously any divorce is unfortunate in many ways, but some divorces kind of just have to happen. And I agree with what you were saying earlier, that the guy probably just found another girl.
Like, does she low-key want to win him back and not want this divorce finalized?
Well, that's what
100%. Misty says the hug at the gym said all to me. Zero
That's
chemistry. That's right. It was like, 0%. There's some.
That was not a romantic hug.
Yeah, I think she's using him for two things. One, I think she's using him as a get back at the ex, like to make the ex jealous, and then also for storyline on the show. And then I think he's using her because he wants to be famous. He wanted to be a shopping network host. So clearly he wants to be on camera. And no
HSN, QVC, whatever. Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
Whatever you think about Ashley, when she said, "Stacey girl, are you okay?" I mean, I'm sorry, but like when she said, "I'm with this guy, but we're not intimate," and she was like, "What?" Like, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And Adam, like, I know I died when she was like, and don't even try it, Ashley. I reenacted it and it didn't hurt. Like, she was ready with that. Ashley didn't even say anything yet. And she was like, and don't even try it. I already reenacted it. I died.
I
a fake lawsuit.
I literally watched that.
Can you imagine, like, if you accidentally, you're like, oh, shoot, that might have been a little too rough. Let's reenact it just to make sure. You're like, oh, yeah, it doesn't hurt. Perfect.
I literally watched that 3 times.
That was hilarious.
I replayed that like 3 times. I mean, with Kiana, I can't, like, to me it's hard to comprehend that she's 36. Like,
I thought she was young. I thought she was like 25, 27. She looks young.
I mean,
and her mom looks young.
I think she looks 36, but I think that I'm surprised she's that age and not old, because I think 36 is young. But I don't think, that she would be that age.
She seems naive. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know about stateside.
You know what I mean?
I
Yeah,
don't know
she has
about
like
the
a
same
level of
side.
like youthful naivety that like you wouldn't normally see in someone mid-30s
No, I mean,
when it
I don't
comes to this kind of relationship.
exactly. I mean, I don't know about your way stateside, but in England we kind of classify 35 being like middle aged. So
Okay, take it easy, Adam. Like,
I mean, to be that naive at that
Adam,
age.
you need to calm down right now.
I mean, if you weren't
Calm
even
down,
born
like,
in the 1900s, yeah, you
I
might
was
need to sit
no,
this one out.
I was born in the 1900s. What are you on about?
Barely, aren't you 99 or something?
Yeah,
Like you
literally.
just missed the the
Yeah,
ball
literally.
dropping. Like stop.
Yeah,
wait, let's
literally.
welcome Johnny, a
I,
newbie. You want to share, Johnny?
I mean,
Hey,
circa
how y'all
1900.
doing?
Good, how are
Hey,
you?
Hi.
Welcome. You want to sound
Hey,
off?
yeah, I kind of like missed some of the live. I seen most of it,
It's
but
okay.
I don't have
Just say
no
what you
people to talk
feel.
about Potomac with. I want to just talk about the ladies.
Welcome to the party. Go wild.
right? Sometimes you just need to chat about it.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
have
Yeah,
no friends in
it's
well,
fun.
none of my friends in real life talks about it, so I just need to like let it all out. Um, Mia, I don't think she needs to be on the show anymore. I think that like this parental storyline is like a big setback, especially being like, black. It's kind of crazy how like they're allowing her to like talk about this very openly. I think honestly they let her do this because Robin didn't give anything last year. So they probably like, oh well, Mia's letting it all out. Now this is good TV, but it's really not. Um That's what I have to say about her. She's probably like, no, actually, Ashley's my least favorite. But after that, me is like my second least favorite because of that. But I think Ashley, I don't know why she's there. She's like a girl wearing rainbow at an all white party. So she sticks out like a sore thumb now that Candace is going. And I think she just needs to go. Like, what was her storyline for like the past 4 seasons? After season 4, she should have been gone, honestly, after the whole Michael Darby of it all. I don't know. And I love me some Karen, but this DUI thing is kind of crazy. I really hope she get it together with this story because the way Shannon is handling it on OC, she needs to take some notes. I also like this new Giselle. She worked my nerves for the past few seasons, but this new Giselle I'm kind of rocking with. I hope she continues on this path. I think she, like you said, I saw you said this earlier, like she's being humbled in like a positive way. So I do agree with that. I feel like this is the Giselle everybody wanted to see out of her instead of her just like coasting the whole time. Now she's like, now you can see why people wants to be friends with Giselle now because she's like very headstrong now. But before it was just like, oh, I don't like you, I don't talk to you, and basically just being mean for no reason. But now it's like, okay, she does have some sense. I do agree with like Wendy. Like I'm not the biggest Wendy fan. I just feel like she's always on the defense, and she's not. She always trying to be somebody she's not. I feel like she would be less boring if she just be herself. So that's with Wendy, and I like the two new girls. I do. I like Jassy. Not Jassy. I like Stacy a lot. I think she's very posh, very bougie, very put together, but a hot mess at the same time. So I'm really enjoying that with her. She gave me like very early Katie Ross vibes, and she gives like I think she also gives like a little bit of Kenya vibes, but not very antagonistic when Kenya first came on there. But
She
and
looks
also
like Kenya a little bit. That's what it is.
yes,
Yeah.
she do look like Kenya a lot. And then with Kay, I like Kay. I feel like she also give kind of like early Portia vibes before Portia went crazy. So I really hope she like stays like fun and lighthearted and stuff. And I think that's all the ladies that I wanted to talk about on here.
Woo! Well, welcome to the party. Welcome to
Yeah.
the Candy Canes.
And also
Yes,
I
come
will say
through.
this. I will
Yes.
say this. I found out about your videos with the Rally Von Tees of it all. And I was like,
Oh, I was tell you,
Oh
I
yeah,
was
we were going
I
in
was
back
one
then.
of the first person to crack that case. From jump, I was like, Monica, there is something wrong with her. She's a liar. She's a fraud. Something's going to happen.
Oh,
Yeah,
Yeah,
oh my god! Thank God
we
she went.
sniffed her out. Like we knew something was up, but we couldn't put our
From
finger on it.
jump.
But we were not. Yeah,
Yep.
we're not buying into something. So when it came out, like we weren't really shocked.
and
No, we
I
were
would
talking
say
about it
like,
before it happened on the show. Thank God YouTube timestamp stuff. 2 weeks before it came out on the show, I had already talked about it because it already had came out that she was it during my
Oh
sleuthing.
yeah.
I mean,
Mhm.
they were slow. They were slow to the game. I mean,
so yeah,
Yeah.
I really, really, really like this channel because
Oh, thank
it,
you.
yeah, I really like this channel because like I was a Monica fan. Monica actually follows me on Instagram
but
and Twitter.
you're a Monica fan.
Oh
I
wow.
was,
Oh my god!
and
Oh my
she
god!
like I and mind you, if you like really think about it, like she followed me way before the show even started airing, and I thought that was kind of odd that a housewife would follow me. I was like,
Are
oh,
you
a
really
housewife.
active on social
I,
media?
I,
Like, how did
I.
she?
Wait, are you actually serious? She actually follows you?
Yeah, she followed me on Instagram and Twitter.
Oh, because
Mm.
I pissed her off so much that she blocked me.
Yeah, so like I was
Everybody
basically
wants
like, so I, so yeah, I basically was doing like a pre-season, like before the even season started, like my what I think is going to happen on the season. She saw it,
Mm,
followed me, and I was like, that's odd that a housewife that I never added before followed me. But then after I started like seeing everything play out during the
mhm.
season, I was like, oh, it makes sense. She's one of us. She's a fan.
She's a fan.
She's one
She's
of
a fan.
us. I
Exactly.
forgot.
Oh, go
Uh,
You
ahead,
know
Natalia.
what? I started getting a little soft because I was like, I heard like the tone in her voice, and because I was like being nosy, and I listened to that podcast she has now,
Mhm.
and
oh my
I
god!
heard the tone of the voice, and I was like, kind of like going, maybe she had some therapy. Maybe she sees that she went in a little, and this wasn't the way it like should have been, and she needs to chill out and like figure out what's going on because like her rush to do all this weird stuff
Mhm.
isn't it, and it's actually psychotic and really strange, and people have a right to be like upset and freaked out by it.
Um,
And I don't know, but then she still kind of had like some weird opinions where it just seemed like she was like way too triggered, and I was just like, I mean, I'm wishing her for the best, but I forgot about the whole thing where she hijacked the cameras and was like snooping
Mhm.
that way. That's like out of
Yeah,
Doing
control.
that
doing
was odd.
drive-bys and like
I forgot about
stealing
that.
stuff,
It's like,
doing
girl, I'm
doing
like, I was about to
stealing
give you my
video
Christian
footage.
service and like give you like, you know what I mean? But I'm
No.
like, girl.
I
Monica,
mean,
to me, it seems like she's the type of person, she's not remorseful for what she did. She's remorseful that there was consequences for what she did.
well, yeah.
That's
I
what
mean,
she strikes me as.
And that's unfortunate. Yeah.
the
No,
only
she's dangerous.
I
And
mean,
why
the
is
Yeah,
only
she still
compliment.
going for Lisa Barlow? Like, leave
That's
Lisa
what I
Barlow.
mean. That's
Keep
what I
Lisa
heard.
MVP.
out your
She's the
mouth. Stop.
MVP.
Lisa had like a normal response to something. She was like, oh my God. And it's like, okay, girl.
Like,
Like the therapy isn't working.
I
I
mean,
and I
like
will.
the only compliment that you can give Monica was that she was more entertaining than Grandad Rose. I mean, like literally, like I mean, I can't believe that we are watching another season with Grandad Rose. I mean, the fact that Grandad Rose is going to try it with
I think Whitney is
Lisa
not
Barlow.
close, far behind her as far as like what's going on.
I mean,
I
like
agree.
to me, if she survives, her and Lame Angie can go, but
Yeah.
but I mean, are we all in agreement that this can be 4 degrees last season?
Oh, yeah.
Who's 4 degrees?
Wendy.
Oh God, I forgot.
um,
I
Giovanni,
was
were you
I
gonna
didn't
say
mean
something?
to made a Salt Lake. I really want to join our Salt Lake panel because I feel like they're like the most fun to talk about a
That's
little
on
bit.
Wednesday.
What,
Okay.
Thursday.
Thursday.
Oh, Thursday. Sorry,
Yeah, because
I'm not me providing the wrong
On
info.
Wednesday, Candy covers the fake New York. So
That's true. I
Yeah.
forgot.
Yeah. So mark
uh,
your
uh,
calendar. Thursday.
uh,
Thursday
I
we'll
mean,
do Salt
I'm
Lake.
sorry, but the fake New York, I can't with that show. I'm just gonna watch the clips online, and and like I can't. I mean that as you mentioned the other day when you were like to me, is she actually British? I was like, damn, like if that really is the case, then she's the most bloody phony I've ever come across. I mean, her and Jennifer Aiden from New Jersey's Lips, like that's how she is to me. Like,
Yeah,
but
Hilaria
but
Baldwin.
I
but
but back to like Potomac, I do like that one friend girl. I wish she was more in it too,
Jazzy.
because I feel like she has some more like like I said, like I love
I
that
mean, she's
corridor
entertaining.
scene.
I watched
I
that.
was
I can't believe it, but I actually rewatched that like 3 times. Like that
y'all.
I want her in the mix.
I'm gonna say, did y'all know that actually, like the friend of, I think her name is Jassy, I think
Mhm.
yes.
she was actually a original flute holder, but Kate kind of snagged it from her.
I think they just gave it to her out of sympathy
Ooh.
with what happened with Sesame. I mean, like, I feel like they were like this girl really got like it
So
rough.
What's her name?
Kiana,
Kiana, she stole Jossie's flute.
Yeah, because
are you?
just think
They
about the
only
first.
want 7. Was
Where
there
did you
like a
see
limit?
that? Where did you see
Yes,
that?
I don't know, because usually 8 Housewives seasons don't really do that well.
That's
Like,
true.
so I think they was just like,
7 usually is a good number.
So I was just thinking like, I don't, because if you look at the scene, Jassy is in every scene.
She really
Mhm.
is.
She's every, like she's with Stacy more than Kay. I feel like Kay only really been with the group for the trip.
Mhm.
I
Yeah.
But
like when Stacy and Jazzy are together.
yeah, so I'm thinking
I
like
think
she was
they're a
supposed to be
good
the one.
team.
Yeah, I
Mm.
think she was the one that was supposed to originally like be the one
What
that's
happened? Yeah.
being the flute. I don't think nothing happened. Maybe she was. I don't know if she like phased out. Because I think the same thing happened with Brittany on Salt Lake because she's everywhere right now. So I think she.
She doesn't deserve a snowflake. Does that girl with her bipolar thoughts with her
Oh my
husband?
god, that
Uh,
girl, she grinds
uh,
my gears like no one's
but
business.
Yeah,
but
so I think
but
maybe she probably like phased in the background later
but
on. I don't
but the
know.
Jazzy girl,
Like a
I like
fade
her
out.
because she's a straight shooter. The way she said to Ashley, "We got there at 8:03 military time." I mean,
Yeah, I like Jassy though.
that was so trashy when Giselle was like security. I mean, she had
I
a
like how
conversation.
they were on her ass. Like I like how they were like, we don't care. You're not gonna like hate, like, what's it called? Not haze. Is it called haze? You know what I mean?
Yes,
Yeah,
Like
Yeah.
yeah, you're not gonna haze us. We were here at 8:03. You're being rude.
military time.
You're like, this is unacceptable.
203.
And don't even try to pull that you got hurt because I already reacted in it. Like, I was
yeah.
like, yes.
I think like I think the most wrong in that situation was Ashley.
That's what I
Ashley,
said.
Ashley should have told them not to come.
No, I think Ashley should have said to Giselle, look, I know you're really mad at Karen, but the girls are coming to support. They're trying to do their best. Think about your dad. This is an event for them. It's
Oh
fine.
yeah,
It's fine. Let them come. Because I think that because I think Ashley's going to be the new Robin, like Giselle's a new lapdog yes person going behind her and doing what she says. Because a
I
real
feel like Ashley's excited about that. I feel like
no,
she's
she
always
is.
wanted to be.
No, because a real friend would say, "Hey Giselle, like the girls are because the girls are busting their butts to please everybody. They weren't trying to be mean to Giselle, and they showed up and they were doing the best they could. And DC traffic being 3 minutes late is like being 5 minutes early. So
Yeah,
it's like,
literally.
you know what I
Yeah.
mean? I
yeah.
think Ashley should have stepped in and instead of being a yes person and a lapdog, should have been a real one and said, listen, I know you're mad at Karen right now and what she did was wrong, but don't take that out on the girls. Think about your dad. Let's all have a good night. Because the person who ended up looking crazy was Giselle. Nobody
Yes.
else looked crazy but her.
I mean, not in like the rudest way, and like that was just psychotic. I mean, that was just.
No, but I think that
But
I would
but
say this
Ashley,
though. In
Ashley had.
Giselle's defense, I'm not a Giselle stan or anything. I do think she's
Oh, I
still
thought you were.
grieving the loss of her father, and it's also her event in that was with the brain tumor society, in memory of
Yeah.
her father and all of
So
that
it
stuff.
hit
So
extra home for her.
I understand Giselle's feeling and reaction, and she does love Karen. She feels like Karen is stepping on her toes, betraying her. Even though they beef, there is a true love, friendship history there. So I understand where Giselle was coming from in her anger and it being misplaced. But the reason why that's why I blame Ashley, because your friend is supposed to be the one to guide you in the moments where you're not in your right mind. When you are triggered and angry and grieving and upset and you feel some type of way or whatever the case may be, that is when your friend steps in and goes, hey, Candy, I know you're grieving the loss of your father. I know you're really, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Look, we need you to just understand and let the girls come in, come get a drink, come relax, come take some photos. That was what I want my friend to do.
Yeah.
That's true. That's true. I mean,
rather than actually then getting the iPad like a little lapdog and running to the Sprinter van
that was
and asking
trashy.
the women you just cussed out and kicked out for money.
That was outrageous.
You see what I'm saying? That's why I'm saying she's messy as hell and she's a yes person and she's not a real friend. And she's going to be like Robin. She's going to be catching all the strays that will be meant for Gizelle. If Gizelle continues to be messy, she's going to catch them because that's what yes people get. They get the strays.
I don't even think Robin would have done that.
That's why Jazzy did the Sprinter van and smashed the door in her face. She was catching strays meant for Gizelle, but like a good little lapdog, instead of saying, Gizelle, go have a drink, go calm down, go take some photos. Girls, this is also my event because it was a G&A event. She's the A in the G&A. This is also my event. I would love to have you here. Come in, take some photos, have a cocktail, go donate, which is what she should have done. She was being messy as hell. Oh, yeah, well, it's 8:03. I'm staying out of it. Let me. That's why she got the door smashed in her face.
Yeah, but low-key, she deserved that though. Like I mean,
she did deserve it. That's why I'm saying she's gonna catch all those strays and she's gonna get all of that stuff because she's gonna be a yes person and she's gonna be messy.
And I will say this.
I mean, the difference between her and the difference between Ashley and Robin is that at least Ashley over the time has actually delivered and given us decent content. And the problem with Robin also was that not only was she boring and just lame as anything, but she was also rough. I mean, I remember in the season 1 with Katie at the reunion, she was like, "Oh, you better get security in here for real." And Katie was like, "What are you gonna do?" And like I don't know if it's really a terminology your way, but like Robin is what we dub in Britain as a rough person. Like I thought
you were gonna say WWE.
Is she middle aged or what did you? I'm just kidding.
But
according to Adam, if you're in your 30s, you're middle aged, so you might as well start planning your retirement.
That's what people in the UK dub it. I mean, like,
I don't think that's true. I'm gonna have to fact check that one, Adam.
Okay.
The thing with Ashley that just bugs me is because the stuff she's willing to do is so obvious that it just looks like it's for the show, and she doesn't care about anyone. Like she only cares about her spot on the show, and it's like because of the stuff she's willing to do is not what a normal person would normally ever do. I don't even think Ashley would normally do any of the stuff if it wasn't for the show. Like it's just so obvious, you know what I mean?
I disagree with. I don't even think it's for the show. I just think she's messy as hell.
I think one of the problems.
Oh no, I think she wants it's for the show.
I think that's why she's on the show is because that's what she does. But I don't.
But telling one person one thing and like sneaking and doing like it's just like it's always been so. And like remember that one time when she caught a bunch of strays from Wendy when she came in, remember, with her breast milk, and she walked in and she was like, okay, I'll do it. I'll bring it up to Wendy. And she's always the one that's willing to do that stuff. And I don't necessarily think she wants to, but she's just willing to do it because she didn't have a storyline that year either. And it's just like, I feel like she would much rather do all this messy stuff than get into her weird life.
But in fairness, though, in certain scenes, I mean, in the upcoming scene where this, no offense, this boring Kiana girl, I mean, at least Ashley is like spelling it out. Like, do you actually have like what actually happened? I mean, she is
spelling what out.
I mean, in the scene for next week, she gives Kiana a moment to talk about the scar on her forehead. I mean, with Kiana, no offense, I don't want to see scenes with your mum. Like,
that's why she has a flute. I think it was like, don't sue us and we'll give you a flute.
Yeah, I think.
What do you mean? What happened to her forehead?
Last season, she got hit in the head with the bottle.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, that was her?
That's her.
Oh, shoot.
But
I want to.
I didn't know that.
I'm
But
sorry. Oh, go ahead.
Oh
didn't
my.
someone say earlier that they missed Candace or something because uh because like I don't really think in a year or two people are going to care that Candace has gone on the show.
I
I
forgot Candace was on the show.
I mean, I know Natasha was saying it's a normal Maryland thing, but like, I'm sorry, but this
Oh my
chef,
god, I knew exactly what you're gonna say.
this chef hobo husband of hers, like, I'm sorry, but like, if I was a girl, I couldn't even look at that guy in the
Men in
face. Like,
Maryland are not good dressers. They just aren't.
yeah, but the
So
guy just looks like a hobo in general. I mean,
I do have a question. So the Candace of it all, right? So y'all are anti-Candace on the panel.
well, yeah.
I kind of liked her,
No,
but
we're
like
not.
she had
We're
her.
not. We're not anti Candace.
Okay.
We just call it. We call it
Yeah,
like
we call it like we see it. Like
we're
we're not.
not.
We don't have
Okay.
biases. You know.
Okay. I don't have a bias either. I was just asking.
Yeah,
Because Candace is not my favorite person. I just
yeah,
like I said before, like I feel like she's kind of like Wendy, but she's got a worse mouth than Wendy. Like she's always on defense. But I
yep.
will say, like Ashley, now that Candace is gone, Ashley really don't. She can't hide behind Candace's mouth.
Mm-hmm.
Now you could see Ashley like,
For really who she is.
yeah, because
Yep.
yeah, I feel like Ashley starts a lot of mess, but like Candace's mouth is so crazy that
Yep.
like you can't you really forget what Ashley did in the beginning. And lucky for me, I did binge Potomac before the season, like every season of Potomac before this
Oh
even came.
wow.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I had it was like it took like a month.
Uh,
It was crazy.
Come on, research.
Yeah, so like I was like, wow, Candace actually was kind of right. It's just the way she cussed people out is like what made the show dark.
Yep.
So it
I
was
mean,
just
she
like,
Well, a lot of these personalities, what happens, they'll do outrageous stuff and then you'll react and they'll do it to people that they know are reactors.
yeah,
Because, like, once they get that reaction, then they can hide behind that reaction and they can use it and spin it as a way to validate their own behavior when really they were the ones that were doing this and initiating all the mess.
I
yeah,
mean,
because
the
I
other
was,
problem with
It's just
Candace is
like
that
when your message is correct, but your delivery is wrong. And then
yeah,
you lose the fight because of the way you delivered it, but the message is correct. And I think that Candace, and that's another thing where I don't understand these women who are like like I think Candace is beautiful. I think she's very smart, she's accomplished, but yet she still has such low self-esteem and is such a pick me.
yeah, I
And
agree.
Mm,
and for as
I
intelligent
never understood it.
and for as intelligent as she is and quick mouth and she goes all the way down, so still emotionally stunted with her emotional intelligence that she lets people like an Ashley or a Gizelle or a Robin or whatever say one little thing to her because she wants to be validated by them so much. Then she gets triggered and she goes off the deep end and goes for everybody's juggler all the way down to hell, that you can't really see her for who she really is. Because I agree, like Candace is fine to me, but her mouth. And then when she's like, "Yeah, but you can't beat me, my mouth," da, 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 that's not. So that's not cute. That's not funny. That's not something to brag about. That's something you need to like go talk to somebody and get worked on.
li-
Because you know those
literally,
people that are like, "But my mouth," and I'm like, "Yeah, but that's still abusive. That's still dangerous. Your
And
mouth
that's not
is write a
a
check.
sign of a stable person.
And
Like
your
you're
mouth is gonna write a check your ass cannot cash, and then you're
like
gonna get
showing
Yeah,
control is how you really handle a
like with
situation.
and let's
Monique,
be
she
real
was
here.
crying about
Like,
getting bopped in the head, but like, I'm sorry, there it was like I was saying with Mia and Gordon, you can push people so far, and I think that words are weapons. You know, maybe it's different in like the law or something. I don't know, but just to me in life, words are weapons, and sometimes you need to be careful with your words because you're gonna jab somebody the wrong way with your words and you're not going to get out just like what happened with Monique. You're going to get bopped or you're going to get something else. People need to be mindful of their words just as much.
I
and I
mean,
will. Oh,
the whole
I was
thing
gonna say,
with Candace is that like some of
Wait,
the points that she
we'll
makes,
do Adam, Joanie, then Natasha. So go
okay,
Adam. Am I saying your
like
name right?
it's Johnny. Like,
John,
Johnny.
yeah,
Johnny. Okay. So
Yeah.
Adam, Johnny, Natasha. Okay.
Okay. Yes, boss. Okay. So the, my thing with Candace is that I'm not a fan, but I thought she was good for the show in some ways. But
Mhm.
you know, with this whole kind of like she also had this grudge against Karen for like continuing a friendship with Monique, and I thought that was just whack. And I feel that after season 6, she realized in hindsight that she got manipulated by Gizelle and her pet Robin. But I I kind of think she was always kind of putting this upfront persona. Oh, I'm a Howard educated person, and for you to kind of be manipulated by Messy, um, as one dubbed it, past the holy halls, um,
Hmm.
um, former wife. I kind of think that was just naive, and I I kind of even though that they weren't like really ever friends, I found it kind of a bit ironic how Candace uh always wanted to kind of have Giselle's like approval and Karen's at the same time, even though they kind of completely have different morals. And it was kind of like pick a lane. Like if you really want to be Giselle's bestie, then like you should not be associating yourself with Karen. But if you want to go down the high road and associate yourself with Karen, then why the hell are you trying to beg for Giselle's friendship? That's kind of how I felt about her. And to me, she was indecisive, and that's probably why she has a hobo husband. But I don't know.
Oh my god.
Okay, Johnny.
Okay, so I was gonna say like when it comes to Candace, I'm a Sagittarius just like her, so I kind of get her a little bit. But it's a big but. I do think most of her anger comes from her mom, and she takes it out on the ladies. That's why I feel like that's where the pick me energy from, because she don't have that from her mother. So
Hmm.
like when she gets a betrayal from especially like the older women of the cast, like the Giselles and the Karens, she goes crazy on them. And I feel like the reason why she goes crazy on Ashley is because Ashley's just messy. So because if you really think about it, she don't really attack nobody else that bad with her mouth other than Ashley and Giselle. And it's just like, because I do think she kind of gave it to Monique a little light, but it was like her mouth is insane. She kind of like it's a show about friends. So you don't like when we like you hanging with your friends, you just don't cuss them out when you're mad. Like that's just something you don't do. So like I said, I feel like a lot of days was just like pent up anger from her mom, bopping her head in a well purse, not listening to her. So she has to find a way to like say how she's feeling. Like she's not gonna cuss out her mom. So what like a better way to do it for her at least is to cuss out these women on the show. And it's just like that's not how friendships operate. You have to like, yes, you're going to therapy, but is the therapy working? I feel like you just need to go to therapy by yourself because your mom really won't listen to you. So there is that. So I just feel like she just needs to like do some really deep diving. And also she's about to be a parent soon. So she really needs to figure out how to navigate
Is
conflict
she
without.
pregnant?
Yes.
Oh,
I think that's the
nice.
reason why she left the show. So she won't be reactive during her pregnancy.
That's smart.
So I really hope like this will like change her conflict resolution skills. That's like the best way to put it because like I said, I get it. I can get a little hot headed temper, but I'm do that with people I don't know. I don't do that with like my friends. So I think she just needs to like channel how to communicate, and she'll be like a really good housewife if she was to come back. I don't think she will, but I think if she was to come back, she needs to like know how to handle conflict because these ladies are handling conflict really well this season, and that's all
I
I got to say.
agree. I agree. We'll see next episode because I think these last 3 episodes, they've been really good at setting up storylines and the new dynamics. Like we're going to see now, it's going to be Karen versus Mia, Karen versus Giselle. We're going to see Stacy versus Ashley. We're going to see Mia versus Karen. We're going to see Wendy being boring. Like we're gonna. It's
Oh,
really good that it's setting everything up, and I think that next episode, I think things are really gonna pop off when they go on that trip. So I agree with
Yeah,
you. And
I
I
was gonna
think,
say.
What do
and
you
I,
think about the?
Oh, I was
Wait,
gonna
are
say.
you
Just
really
think
gonna
about it.
enjoy? You already had your turn, Adam.
Oh yeah, I was gonna ask.
yeah,
Candy.
yeah.
Like, just imagine what would have happened if a pregnant Candace got kicked out of a Giselle event.
Yo, I think, listen, she would have lost her mind. I think she would have forgot she was pregnant. And also, that's another thing, because it's like if you are, pregnant and you're running your mouth, some people may not care that you're pregnant. Some people might forget you're pregnant in the moment and bop you. Think about it. KK got knocked upside the head and she wasn't even involved in the argument. She was just, got collateral damage. So I think that Candace stepping
That's
down while she's
scary.
pregnant is a really good idea, given everything that's happened, especially all the physical stuff. And I think you bring up a good point about how Candace's mouth wasn't ever that bad with Monique. And I think the reason why that situation blew up as the way it did was there was so much undercurrent where it's like I think Monique was going through a lot. And I think that Candace kind of betrayed Monique when Monique realized all the women had gotten together to make up the lie, saying that her baby was the trainer babies and that it wasn't Chris's baby, and that she had no longer decided to have the previous pregnancy. She like all that stuff, which was a lie because she had just miscarried and like all that stuff. So, and then clearly Monique was going through stuff too. And then Candace was in on it, never told Monique, but went to Karen. And it was Karen who was the one who told Monique everything was going on. Then you have Candace running her mouth, not as bad, but you just added fuel to a fire that was already there. And then you get Gizelle in your ear, you get Robin in your ear, you get Ashley in the ear, and that light, then that match is lit, and then boom, you getting bopped, you getting mollywopped upside your head, and you're crying and wondering why.
Well, that's why she kind of like lost her class. Like she just went down the wrong road. I mean, it
Yeah,
wasn't. I mean, it wasn't kind of she betrayed Monique. She did. I mean, she just
she
flat out
did.
did.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she did. And then she never wanted to take accountability of the role that she played for things escalating to that level.
Well, she never took accountability. Full stop. In
Never
anything.
took accountability, wanted to
She,
just always play victim with her little triangle, like little triangle teardrops, where it's just like, no, sweetheart, like, I don't condone violence. I don't think that it's ever okay to be physically violent, but I'm emotionally intelligent enough to understand why violence happens.
And not
And
push
people,
someone
and you
when they're
don't push people
already
to
at a
time limits,
yeah.
and you need to take accountability for the role you played. Not saying that anybody's ever justified putting hands on somebody, because it's never justified, but you can understand why it happens. Do you know what I mean? And
yeah.
so I think that's the thing that Candace was missing, was that accountability piece, that accountability chip where she could say, you know what? I don't get to play victim in this situation that I actively was a perpetrator in. You know what I mean? And that to me is what kind of makes Candace dangerous. You
Yeah.
can't just say what you want to say and then monitor and police how people react to you when everybody else, it's also like that saying where it's like, be kind because you never know what other people are going through. So it's
Hmm.
like you
That
don't
is
know
the truthest of the truth.
where other people are at, where you could say something to somebody and you don't know, like, again, what I think Monique was going through something too, where you say something. I don't mean just like a normal thing and somebody just randomly gets triggered and go off on you. I mean, like, you're going at them. You don't know what pressure that person is under. That's what I was saying about Mia and Gordon. And I'm being serious about it because that to me is a pressure cooker. I would not be surprised if it's like Gordon loses his mind, and you hear every single day about the Scott Petersons of the world, about unaliving somebody, then unaliving themselves, like. And I don't say that lightly, and I don't mean that as a kiki or to be funny. I mean it in a serious, scary way. You hear about it every single day, where people snap, take themselves out, take out their kids, take out their ex. You hear about that every single day. And
Yeah.
so to me, when I look at the situation, and
I don't like it. It
Gordon's
makes me
mental
uncomfortable.
state seems so fragile. He's already come out and said he's bipolar. you can see in his face, you can see in his body, he's
She,
already,
I don't know why she's pushing him that hard.
I
It
don't know
seems
why.
very cruel. It seems
Yeah,
like
and
very
it
evil and like
seems very
cruel.
evil, where it's like, what did this man isn't
Like
doing
she really wants to punish him or something. It's
yeah,
weird.
and it's like,
And
this man didn't do anything to you. He's basically just like, look, like, I'm down on my luck. The money is gone, but like, I want to be with the kids. I want to be around you. I want to co-parent. Like, I'm confused. Like, why are you going so hard? You know what it is? As I said out loud,
it's really sad what she did
I
to him,
think
kind of.
Mia feels guilty for the way she did Gordon, but because she I don't know, I'm not a doctor. I don't know what the personality type is, but there are people with certain personality types or dispositions where if they did something wrong and they feel guilt, instead of acknowledging what I did was wrong and I'm
They
sorry,
double down.
they no, they don't double down. They make the other person the villain of the story in
Oh
order
yeah.
to not feel accountable for the way they treated that person.
I mean, that's
I don't
you can
know
pick
what
any dark
I don't know
triad
what that's
personality type.
called. I don't know
Yeah.
what that's called, but that's what I feel is going on, where it's like, you ever been around a person who did you dirty, and then when you call them out on it, they then flip it on you, like you're the most horrible person in the world, instead of being
Yeah,
like,
all the time.
you know,
Yeah, just remember
that's
how.
that's what I feel she's doing. Now all of a sudden Gordon is a predator and an
That's
abuser, and he
crazy.
groomed her,
Yeah.
and he's this, and you guys are washing his drawers, and the kid isn't his, and like, all because you strip all of the essence of a man away, and then you continue to hammer and to hammer, and
I'm
not
worried
just
about him.
privately but publicly. And think about what happened with the OC. Taylor's husband ended up unaliving himself.
But think about like what's really
Yeah.
happening. Like basically he realized, as like he knew his wife only wanted him for money, but like it really did cost him his immediate family. He cost him, now he has no money. And now
Mhm.
he's losing her, and now she's humiliating him and rubbing it. It's just like it's too much for any person to take, regardless of whatever like he could have done. Like I just feel like
I
she
agree.
needs to back off.
Yeah,
Like
it's like, if
have
you
some
don't want to
respect.
do
He
it,
is the father
if
of
you
your
don't
kids
want to
after
be
all.
with
Like,
him, then just separate and divorce and kumbaya, call it a day. There's no
but
that
you know what's weird?
it's the extra stuff that's crazy.
You
I
know
mean,
what's weird though? I just realized.
as you said earlier, Karen spelled it out. Like, this is on TV, and one day your kids will see this.
You know
Like,
what I just realized? You know how you like a lot of, I feel like, I don't know who I was talking to, but I feel like in a lot of relationships where like men have like midlife crisis and they dump their wife for someone new, they kind of do this to the wife. Well, they'll all of a sudden just go way too hard, and the wife will be like, "What did I do to you? Like, I was just the mother of your kids. I get it. You don't want me anymore, but you don't have to go this hard." It's like almost, I've never seen it like reverse, like the woman doing it. And that's kind of what we're seeing. And it's just so
Exactly.
weird.
Exactly. It's like, in order to justify what you're doing, you have to villainize the other person. It's almost like when narcissists create smear campaigns against someone, where it's
Yeah.
like, in order for them to be the perpetual victim, the person who's creating boundaries with them, or saying no, or calling them out on their stuff, or no longer allowing them to abuse them, instead of being like, oh wow, this person is like healthy and creating boundaries and not letting me abuse them, they create a smear campaign where they go to everyone else and lie on them, talk bad about them, play the victim, so then everybody else thinks that the person who's actually just creating healthy boundaries is the bad guy. So then the narcissist gets to be the victim and control the other person and abuse the other person. And then they get their little flying monkeys who are like, I need to defend this person you're being so mean to. You know, all the, like a Jacqueline or whoever to come in
oh
and
god, not Jacqueline.
take your
She can
case
go.
for you. You know
Who's
what I
that?
mean? But
Uh,
that's what I feel is going on here. But she's taking it to a totally different level. Like, you're saying he's abusing you and he's all this stuff. And girl, stop it. Stop.
uh,
Like,
uh,
stop.
I
I
mean,
never like, I think Mia's trash. I think she's a terrible person. I don't like Jacqueline. I never bought into the whole Jacqueline thing either. When she was on.
Jacqueline just wants to be with Mia. Like, let's just call it a thing. Like,
Jacqueline's
Jacqueline
thirsty.
wants to be Mia's woman.
I think so too.
I mean, the other two won't get the reference, but Candy will understand what I'm talking about. Like,
What?
but Mia is literally a replica of Ruby from Made in Chelsea.
Oh, oh! How dare you speak her name on my channel?
Adam, if you could see my face, you'd be seeing an aggressive eye roll.
I mean, if Natasha, if you got scarred like Candy and I did when we saw this Ruby girl, then you would know the pain. I mean, she is literally the worst of the worst.
She's awful.
I mean, but Mia is literally a clone of her.
Jacqueline totally wants to be with Mia. That's so accurate.
Jacqueline is a crybaby. She's just upset that she didn't have a flu. I mean, she is thirsty. I mean,
I can't believe she's back. How embarrassing.
I mean, she makes Brandy Glanville look normal. Like, literally, like...
I wouldn't go that far.
You said Jacqueline makes Brandy look normal?
She's
like,
just
what
trash.
are you talking about? Like,
Brandy is not normal.
No, not
Brandy is like
Jacqueline is trash.
One of the most unhinged persons I've ever seen on TV. So like,
I mean, with that ugly latex repugnant dress in next week's episode, she just needs to go away. I mean, she can go in the trash. I don't care. Like, she is awful.
And what's with her 14-year quote boyfriend, baby daddy, PP Patrick? What in the hell? Like, what? I'm so confused. Go ahead.
I'm sorry.
No, you go ahead.
Oh, I want to say, and I will say this: all the smoke, and because my thing is, when I did my binge on Potomac, I wanted to know like where Potomac went wrong. You know, that's why I did it. So I was like, where did Potomac go wrong? And I just feel like all the smoke and anger that they have for Monique for like the respectability politics that they played, they need to play with Mia. Cause
thank you.
I mean, remember when she got into that fight? That was the most craziest showing of hypocrisy I've ever seen in my life. And it was like almost felt like I felt insulted as a viewer.
Yeah, because be for real, like a baby daddy storyline. I hate to call it that, but just like and I'm fair, but it's just like it's like you have a baby daddy storyline, you cheating on your husband, paternity. Is this not Maury?
Hello.
It's like what in the Jerry Springer's going on here?
So it's just like, and I feel like Mia is probably like one of the most disgusting people on the show. I really do. Like, I
don't like her. She makes my stomach hurt. Like, she just gives me weird vibes. I don't like it.
Makes my stomach hurt.
She makes me uncomfortable.
You could basically see who she is as a person when she threw that drink at Wendy, and that after all of that, like how she even like treated Jacqueline and how like they came out like it was fake. And like nothing out of Mia's mouth is the truth, and it's only going to be downhill from here. The more they give her exposure, the more worse it's going to get. So they might as well just nip it in the bud now and take her off the show. I just really do not want her on the show.
And spare Gordon, for love of God.
Yeah, and spare Gordon.
I feel sorry for that man. I really do. I feel that, you know, with what he announced, you know, no one should make fun of that. And all this kind of protagonistic vibes that Mia is given, like, you know, I kind of feel like if you're going, as you said, you can only push someone so far. I mean, he really, I don't know if he's got another family member, but he should really confide in someone because this girl is toxic. And as you said, like, I wanted your thoughts on this comment by from enthusiasts.
Yeah, I don't know why Mia is. I don't even know why she's still here. Like, I guess, but like I said, I feel like they kind of keeping her there because I feel like that's what they wanted from Robin last season. But it's just like this is not it. Like, it's really not. Like, I understand y'all wanted Robin.
It's never been it.
Yeah, like I understand y'all wanted Robin to like talk about Juan and the what's going on or whatever. But Robin really genuinely did not care, and Robin's gonna be delusional. So just like that's just Robin's character is delusional.
Yeah.
So, but with Mia, she's delusional and she has no bounds. So that's dangerous.
Very dangerous.
I always say that, right? There is no bounds that she won't cross. And it's scary to be around people like that.
And what she's trying to do to Karen, like to try and jam Karen up where if Karen slips up and says something, she could go to jail. That's super evil. So from enthusiasts.
Yeah, the consequences of that. Like, what are you doing?
Mm-hmm. Says, I don't like what she is doing to Gordon, but Gordon did his wife wrong as well. You get what you get. Well, how did Gordon do Mia wrong? Like, that's what I don't understand. Like,
I think he's talking about the original wife that he left for Mia.
oh, you mean did his wife wrong? Okay. So I will say this. If, let's just say Gordon was married and he cheated on his wife, left his wife, and now he's with Mia. Not cool, not good, not justifying that by any means whatsoever. However, I still don't think that justifies what Mia is currently doing to him. I still don't think it
It's too
justifies
much.
her publicly calling him a predator, saying he groomed him, out here with ink, mixing like all of that, having the kids walk in with her and ink in the bed, and then having the kids come back and say that, publicly talking about his finances, bankruptcies.
I saw a scene where like they
all
call
of
her
that.
out on that.
Wait 1 second, Natasha. And also, like, I think that when, as human beings, we are imperfect people. We've all done some mess. So sure, Gordon cheated on his wife, wasn't the best thing. I'm not saying that's cool. But that doesn't mean that he deserved what is currently happening to him. Because no person on this earth is perfect. So I don't think in those terms of like, well, you did one thing wrong in your life, now you deserve all this horrible things happening to you. No, it's kind of like apples to oranges. That's kind of the way I think about it. Nobody is perfect. We've all fallen short of being good people at certain times. And I honestly, and this might sound a little jaded, but like, okay, like he cheated and he left his wife. Women cheat and leave their husbands. Men cheat and leave their wives. Unfortunately, this is like grown folk talk. It happens. I'm not saying it's right. I'm not saying it's justified. But name one person on this planet that's never done anything that's been dirty. Doesn't mean he deserves this, if that makes sense.
This is another caliber.
Yeah, that's kind of where I land on it. But if you guys want to chime in or anything.
I agree with you. I feel like you spelled it out. I feel what you said.
Yeah.
But when is I don't know, I saw like a scene in the future.
Good question from Enthusiast. So you guys keep them coming. Okay, go ahead, girl.
I saw like a clip, I don't know when it's going to happen, where they call Mia out on like, it was like Karen and Gizelle both call her out.
Good.
And they're like, no, I feel like that's really inappropriate. Why is your son able to walk in on you? Like, that's not okay, Mia. Like, I don't care about these excuses kind of deal. And I was like, thank God someone has some sense. And she's like, no, I'm a good mother. Like, she pulls the whole dynamics of that. And I was just wondering, if anyone knew when that was going to come up, because like I'm ready for it, because this is too much. I'm guessing
episode 4 or 5, because I know next episode is when everything, at least that's what they're teasing, but you know how they draw crap out.
God,
so,
yeah.
I think episode 4 or 5.
So I bet you it really pops off episode 5. I think it's going to start episode 4 with the trip, and then they're going to leave it on a cliffhanger, and then it'll pop off on that next episode. You know how to do that to us?
Because I'm
cliffhangers, and they don't give you the next time on whatever.
But, like some random scene. I'm like, well, when is this happening? Like, what?
And it's like 2 episodes from now.
But
okay, yeah.
But when you were discussing earlier about this whole thing that she met Gordon when she was 19, like I
think she's lying about that.
Like,
she was much older, as from the stories that she told. Like, this is.
The math isn't mathing on all of the stuff, because if you met him at 19, you guys have been together for at least 11 years. You have an 8-year-old, like, or like, did you meet him and then you guys hung out for like 20 years before you got married? Like, it's all me.
Like, did she know him before you got together and did the handstand on the beach, or like, what are you talking about?
I mean, she's turning 40 this year.
She was with Ink when she was in high school and afterwards. So
none of her stories ever add up. I'm just over
it. Exactly. I mean, she's turning 40 this year, so that would mean she would have known him for 21 years. Like,
And I don't know. I just
Allegedly.
I'm uncomfortable with how like the dynamics of like what I hear about the children. I don't think that should ever be in a position where your kids are able to walk in on them, especially when you're still technically married to their father. Like this is not okay under any circumstances. And
Agreed.
I don't like what you're doing to Gordon. I think you're going to potentially push a man to a point where you might not be able to return from. And God forbid, like,
Yeah.
cut it out. Like, TV is not worth this kind of thing. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
I
grow a heart. Like, this is ridiculous. It's not funny. It's not entertaining. It's actually making everyone feel uncomfortable and feel bad for him. So, like,
you need
joke's
to
on
love
you.
you need
I
to
mean,
love your children more than you love playing the victim. Because that's what's really going on.
Exactly.
And she wants to play the
Like,
victim.
none of this is comfortable to look with. Like, I
But
don't find it really
about
entertaining.
I am excited about Karen and Gizelle teaming up because I love it
I
when
like
Gizelle
when they do that. The
I
rare
like it.
times it happens, it's good.
it's
As much as
fun. Like
Giselle is
that's fun.
horrible, as much as Giselle's horrible, and what she did to Monique was messed up.
Hmm.
I like her dynamic with Giselle because Giselle and Karen rather
Me too.
because
That's a few times she's
but,
likable.
but exactly. I mean the whole time. I've got a tough question for all you three.
Here we
Okay.
go.
Out of the cast, who is actually right now, do you think, the closest to Karen?
Oh, can you put the screen up of the people again?
I think the closest to Karen would be Stacy.
Yeah.
I think that's what's gonna come out. I think the closest to Karen will be Stacy. Stacy slash Giselle, because the thing is, when it comes to Karen and Giselle, I spoke on this earlier, but since you brought it up, I'll repeat it. I do think that there is a true history between these women. They have been friends for years. I do think that there is a real love for each other. The problem is, as much love is there, there's also distrust. Given the fact that every time Karen has been in crisis, when Ray, they were having money issues with Ray taxes, Giselle and Robin come to the Ponderosa they were having, or whatever they were having, and uh what do you call it, in the t-shirts, like the Ray t-shirts and all that stuff, and we're gonna leave, you want to walk out, and making fun of that. You're in crisis, your husband has tax debt, you're financially strapped, and all of that. That's a big crisis, and your friend turns on you. When Karen was having not housing problems, because she was renting this mansion, which is very privileged and amazing and great, but in the context of the show and in the women and the money to be renting in Potomac, Karen felt a little embarrassed about that. What did Giselle do? Giselle, Robin, and Ashley had a pizza guy come to the house to prove Karen really wasn't living there. Again, she's in crisis about her housing and renting or not, and what does that look like, and blah, 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 blah. She's making fun of her and all of that stuff. When Karen was in crisis about the state of her marriage, what does Robin and Ashley and Mia and Robin do? They're like, oh, well, you're cheating on your husband with the blue eyes, and Gizelle is right there. So I understand why Karen, who is now in crisis with the DUI situation, facing court, possible jail, does not trust that Gizelle is there to truly support her and to be there for her. That's why at the Hatitude Party, where I actually think Giselle's heart was in the right place, I think for the first time, she actually wasn't coming for Karen's neck. One, because she didn't have Robin, because Robin got fired. Two, because her father passed away, and I think that has changed her and humbled her and softened her. And three, because the whole internet has come for Gizelle in one way, form of another, humbling the hell out of her in a positive way. So I think for the first time, Gizelle actually was trying to be there when Karen is in crisis, but Karen is unable to receive that for a good reason, because history has proven every single time I've needed you, every single time I've been in crisis, your reaction has been to clown me, make a mockery of me, turn your back on me and shame me. So why would I trust you in this moment where the stakes are even higher, because I could be going to jail?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
100%.
And I think that's what's really going on with these two women. But the truth is, I think that Karen and Gizelle are both in crisis. I think we see a Gizelle who is mourning the loss of her father, who she was extremely close to, is has never gotten over the loss of her marriage to Jamal. I don't care what she says. I think that's still very hard for her. Like even in the preview where the producer's like, "Oh, word on the street is that Jamal has a new girlfriend," and she's like fanning. She's like, "What? Oh, I don't know." She's been divorced from this man for how long? Her eldest is in college now, and all of that stuff. So she never mourned the loss of the life she thought she was going to have with him. Not necessarily him, but the life she thought she was going to have. That's really what I don't think she ever really got over. And we see that in her. So I do think we see two women who have a true love, a true history, both in crisis, who can't fully be there for each other because of the previous trauma and because of the previous distrust, because of the previous messiness. So it's my hope that they can get to the point where they can find and truly show up for each other. Because I think the only reason why Karen did the whole award night the same night as Gizelle is because Karen is embarrassed and humiliated and scared about the DUI. But instead of saying that, she's trying to save face. And all of this award night and Gizelle night, that's all very performative. And I think Karen is just at her core, she's scared. Because who the hell wouldn't be? Unless you are like a criminal and you don't care, what average person, particularly a 61-year-old woman, isn't terrified of going to jail? And that's really what is at stake here with Karen. We just learned that they tried to dismiss the charges and the judge said, no, not dismissed. So she's going to court. And she had a lot of charges.
Ain't this a jury
What
trial
were
too?
the charges?
Yes, it was like driving under the influence.
DUI,
DUI.
What did she do? Did she drive into a building too?
No, I think she drove into like what is it called? Like a division or something. Like she drove into like the
she crashed into a tree.
Tree or but it like a tree.
Yeah, it was a division. Yeah.
Divide. Like when you go down the street and it's like this is like a one way, then you have like trees here, you have a divide here. It happened like in that area. They did the fake, and that was another thing that I thought was shady as hell. That Bravo did the fake reenactment. When I in the first episode, at first I thought it was real footage, but then when I went back and watched, it said reenactment, and I was like, "Bravo, why are you?"
That is outrageous. Yeah,
I thought that was just harsh. Like I thought that was
not a documentary.
I thought that was a quite classless. I just don't know why they would.
That was very distasteful.
If someone like narcissist Kyle Richards had. If she ever had a DUI in the future, they would never do that on Beverly Hills.
Yeah, they wouldn't do it to Kyle. They might do it to somebody on Beverly Hills, but they wouldn't do it to Kyle.
I mean,
people get treated differently.
They do. Okay, if it was written, I think they would.
Very true.
That get certain treatment that other people don't get. They didn't do a reenactment of Shannon. They showed real footage. And I think it's one thing to show actual footage, but to go out of your way to do a fake reenactment.
The reenactment, that's like absolutely outrageous.
That was just low.
Like we don't even have footage, but we want to. So we're going to make it up. Like that's crazy.
It was so bizarre and just hurtful. And like the stakes.
It's so disrespectful. It's out of control.
Yeah, and the stakes are very high. And that's why I was like, Mia is like, I always knew Mia was messy and a liar. But this season, I just feel like there's an evilness to her. Like what she's doing to Gordon, like really mentally taking this man through the ringer. I'm not saying he's a saint, but he's a human being. Is crazy. Not just a human being. He's the father of your children. Is crazy to me and cruel. And then the fact that you like watch next episode, how she tries to strategically get Karen to trip up on camera, knowing that could result into Karen going to jail.
Get her off the show. This woman is dangerous. Get her off.
Evil, and she said in the confession,
"Nah, this is too much. Get her off."
These are all the charges. You need to say about it, knowing that your court case is coming up and laughing about it, and then doing an entire social, like just Google it. You'll see all the stuff. She was doing social media campaigns against Karen, speaking out against her, and then getting Jacqueline in on it. So,
what did Karen do to you, psychopath? Like, get her off the show.
I mean,
this is too much.
You want
even
this
the way
woman to
she
go
goes
to jail?
against Stacy, even the way she goes against Stacy and was like, "This is
Yeah.
what you're
This is what you're
defending." Like,
defending. No, she's
I,
not. Nobody's defending somebody who has a DUI, but we're also understanding this is a human being who made a mistake, and we can have grace and we can have forgiveness and we can support someone through a tough time. Nobody is saying DUIs are cool. Like,
And don't make us deep dive into your life,
me,
Mia, and we will have a whole PowerPoint presentation.
yeah, and Mia's dumb. She's not stupid. She knows nobody is saying that it's okay that Karen got a DUI. Nobody is saying that. What
well,
we
this
are
is what
saying is that she needs support in this moment, not trying
100.
to set her up to go to jail.
She needs real friends, basically.
Exactly.
Essentially. I mean, this is the thing. Like, Mia,
Like, this isn't minor.
like,
This is life. This could be life
This is
altering.
like this isn't a joke anymore. This isn't like a Kiki shade. Oh, you did you hear this?
Yeah, like, oh, we're
what
gonna
is
embarrass
actually
her. No, like, this could have dire consequences.
what is actually like the normal? What is actually like the normal sentencing if someone actually did go to jail? Like, is it like just a 1 year thing? Because like,
This is her second one, right?
Yeah,
yes,
it'd be more than 1 year because it's the second one. But
I
I
was gonna
will
say
say,
5.
And DC's
yeah,
our capital. They don't play.
and also it's not just one citation as well, so she can get other stuff on top of that.
It's
Um,
multiple.
I'm gonna pray for Karen. I love me some Karen. I'm gonna pray for her. Um, I'm gonna answer Adam's question.
Yeah.
I do think Giselle is the closest to Karen. Um, and I will say I agree everything what Candy said. Like, just they're like yin and yang. Like, I don't
Mhm.
know. Like, it's like they're friends, but they're not. But it's like they've been through so much together. It's like they're in this together.
Mhm.
So I do think Giselle probably has the best out of all these women. Because, like I said, I do think like Stacey is cool with Karen, and I do think Kay likes Karen based off of the situation last season. But I do think like
Mhm.
based off of like history and
Yeah.
the fallouts to get like just like out of all the people on the show other than Robin, Giselle barely falls out and become friends with somebody again. So she must really, truly, deeply care about Karen.
Yeah.
So I do think Giselle do have a best interest, and I do think Karen needs to let her guard down with Giselle. I know
Yep.
that's gonna be hard to do because if it was me, I wouldn't either. But
Same.
but I do think Giselle and hell has frozen over that I'm defending Giselle. But I do think she has the best interest out of all the ladies when it comes to Karen. Because at the end of the day, they have history. They know what what buttons to press and not to push. And I think this time around, Giselle is not going to push those buttons because, like Candy said, she is grieving and she don't want to do that with Karen, and she
Yeah.
don't want to add on to no more strife with the group at all.
Yep.
So I do, like I said, I do think Giselle is the closest. And like I said, this would never came out of my mouth last year when it came to Giselle, but
Yeah, it's a new day. I agree.
yeah. So I would say I'm actually like I said, I'm liking this new Giselle a lot. So I really hope they do get it together where they can trust each other. But
Mhm.
the rest of these ladies better buckle up if these two become fully trusted friends, because they will be unstoppable
Because they
together.
don't know what's coming to them. Yeah.
Yeah. It's true. It's like I love Karen and Giselle. When they're good, they're great. Same thing with
mm-hmm.
like Salt Lake City, Heather Gay and Lisa Barlow. That's a duo we didn't know we needed, but I absolutely love. And I love her and Meredith too. And I would and my hope for the OC is Heather and Shannon, like a happy Heather and a happy Shannon. I think
Yeah.
that duo would actually be so entertaining if we could get there without Tamra.
Well, yeah,
Oh my
but
God, Tamara.
no one is saying they want Tamrat back on our screen. Like everyone,
Oh
I
my
mean,
god, I missed you last night. I'm so mad.
She needs to be fired.
I mean,
Hopefully I
I
could
mean,
join your OC panel too,
I mean,
because
Yes, you can come on any panel.
Even come on the fake New York, like it's always banter with Candy.
I don't want to hear about Bryn and her
Thank you.
and her
Bryn like
flirting
literally
and
makes the hairs on the back of my neck stand up. Like there's something about her. I think she's like pure evil. There's
she's a
something.
Oh, I
gorgeous
don't like
girl,
any of the
but she's
cast for that
so
show.
crazy.
Mhm.
She like there's something off. Like she gives me wicked witch, like evil cauldron, like yikes.
I don't believe any of
Good
them are real
question, Miss
friends.
T. And sure is on this season. I don't think she is. Because
No,
remember,
no
she
one who
Thank
wants Big
God.
and were
Reese.
super close.
No one
Who?
wants
What
Big
was the
Reese back on
question?
the screen.
Cherise.
Cherie.
Oh my gosh.
I don't see her, and I don't think so.
We
That's a
don't
good question.
we don't
They
need
didn't
her
tease
friends.
her if she is.
I mean, do you want Big Reese back on the show?
No.
Oh,
Big Reese was one of the most
no,
disrespectful
Big Reese.
nicknames, but
Wait a
so
minute.
hilarious.
I'm body shame.
I mean, I don't know if it.
Don't get me in trouble.
I don't know if
Big
any of
Reese.
you.
I forgot about that name. Oh my god.
I mean, I don't know if you saw, but as I sent it to Candy earlier, my favorite non-housewife MVP is back on our screens. Heavenly. I mean, Heavenly is the realist. I mean, like whatever you say, Candy, if it wasn't for her,
No.
that show would
How
be
are we
cancelled.
talking about this, Adam?
She's
Like,
not
why are you derailing
to
it?
realize she's just mean. And there's a difference between being mean and being truthful. Because the truth doesn't hurt. The truth should be delivered. The truth is your opinion delivered with compassion. Just because you're being truthful about your opinion doesn't mean that you're being real. No, Heavenly is mean. She has low self-esteem. She's a witch. She's nasty. She likes hurting people. No,
If it
no,
wasn't,
no,
I was
no.
not expecting you to say because you sound like you were being like so like scholastic and gentle. And then you're like, it comes with compassion. Truth comes with compassion. She's a witch.
I will say
I mean, if it wasn't for her, if it wasn't for Heavenly, the show would be cancelled already. Like that's a fact. If it
okay,
wasn't for
can I
Heavenly,
be
No.
devil's advocate? Can I
Yeah,
be
go
devil's
ahead.
advocate?
Go ahead. Go
All right,
ahead.
this is for Adam.
I'm still laughing.
If you like Heavily, how you do not like Candace?
Hello. Thank you.
I mean, at least one didn't put
Tell
their
me
hands.
you
Yeah,
can
it's
come on
not adding up,
you can
Adam.
come
I'm
on any
sorry.
panel you want. Thank you. Because
Love
that's
you to death,
mind
but
blown.
Because Heavily mouth is insane.
Mhm. Miss T, shout out to Miss T, my mod. Thank you for holding me down. I love you, girl. Mwah. She goes,
I'm disappointed that
MCW trailer
Contessa's
has come
back.
out and Contessa is back.
Contessa's lame. I mean, she lost her cool. I mean, she went down the hierarchy after that flop season.
Mm-hmm. I can't get over you and Heavenly. Like, ugh, I'm confused.
I mean, if it wasn't for her, the show would have been cancelled.
her voice annoys me.
She's the
Not
most
true.
entertaining person on that show. I mean,
Don't you know?
like they got rid of.
It's like very froggy.
As soon as they got rid of Mariah, I mean,
It is
as much as all the other doctors like have their thing against Mariah, like
Because they're a bunch of haters.
I actually liked her. I mean, she did.
I
have
love Mariah.
Yeah, I love
she
me
actually
some Mariah too.
when she did say this is my show a bit too much, but other than Heavenly, she was.
Wait,
she was
Adam, hold on.
second
Full stop. Full stop. I'm sorry, my love. I love you, but I gotta stop you in your tracks. First of all, it was her show. And
Yeah,
if
it was,
you-
but she said
I know,
it
but
like
this is my
500
thing.
times.
This is my thing. This is my thing. If you, and I don't mean to make things about race, but I'm going to because it's the reality of the situation. If you are a Black woman who got your own show created on NBC Universal Bravo show, you're damn right. Every 5 seconds, I'm going to let you know this is my show, 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 because it is my show. And all of those women on that show kiss Andy Cohen's ass, call him daddy, like he has given them anything in this world. And they turned around and they stabbed Mariah in her back 15, 30 times, left her for dead, turned around and stabbed her in front another 10, 15 times, still talk about her like a dog on the show when she is the one who gave them this platform, gave them this opportunity, created a show for them that they now get their livelihood from, their money, their platforms, their products, all of that. And look at how dirty they did her, get her kicked off her own show. Screw all of those women.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's
And
right.
you're right. I'm gonna let you know every 5 seconds, this is my show. And they did her so wrong and so dirty. Andy Cohen has done nothing for those women. Is he even a producer on the show? Maybe. I don't know.
No,
But
he's not.
but see, he's not. And they kiss his butt. And you want to do that, fine. But all I'm saying, in juxtaposition to the way they treated Mariah, who gave this opportunity, who this is literally her show. You watch that show, the credits, executive producer, Mariah Huck, created by Mariah Huck. She cast those women, created the show, put them on the platform, and that's how dirty they do her. Miss me with all of them.
Yeah, that's cold
I mean,
blooded.
she was my second favorite. So
What's her name? Dr. the really evil one.
Dr. Jackie, I mean,
Dr. Jackie. Ooh.
What was the thing that she was involved again? She was
the one that's like shriveled.
She did this messed up thing where I mean, even that thing that she did.
She was on your faves, Dr. Heavenly, one of her YouTube channels, talking about Black women lie and are dramatic and overly emotional and lie about.
Who said this?
Disgusting.
Dr. Jackie said this.
Wow.
How she thought that Black women are overly emotional and dramatic.
Wasn't there all these complaints about her practice and how she treats her Black patients?
Why didn't she get fired?
And
like some really like crazy stuff about her.
But it came out. It came out because she was being two-faced. She was doing a campaign with Vice President Harris around education around Black women because we have a higher death rate during birth. Like Black women, we die more in childbirth because of all of the racism and biases and bigotry, which is she's Black, she's not racist, but she's very, very bigoted. That happens against us. They don't believe us when we are in pain. They don't believe us when we need more medical attention, and so for her to say all that stuff, being a Black OBGYN, is absolutely crazy and psycho to me.
Like your next level, like sick in the head.
Yeah.
But Mariah called this out. She goes, well, why did the footage, she said, why was the footage still up on Heavenly's YouTube channel for people to find? Because nobody's stupid. Dr. Heavenly is nobody's friend. She's all up Dr. Jackie's butt. But if you have half of a brain cell and Dr. Jackie's an OB/GYN catering to, in her mind, affluent Black women, and she's literally slamming Black women, why would you keep that up on your channel? Why were people able to find that? Because Dr. Heavenly don't care about nobody except for her own clicks and views and money. Because for example, if we were up here and I had a friend and she came on and she was a Black OBGYN and she said what Dr. Jackie said, I would edit that out. And I would not leave that on my channel because I know how detrimental that could be. And then I would never F with her again. I would never be I wouldn't truly be that person's friends again, because you disparage Black women, you disparage me. So if that's how you feel about Black women, that's how you feel about me on some level. So no, thank you. But I mean, the whole thing is crazy and messed up. And Dr. Jackie, I think Dr. Jackie is very bitter. I think there's an evilness to her. I think that she is jealous of her patients. Think about what she did to Dr. Buffy, outing out her infertility to the entire world. That was insane. I don't care who you are. I think Dr. Jackie is jealous of her patients. I think she's jealous of the fact that these women are coming in and are pregnant, and that is something that Miss Perfection, Miss Super Type A, is unable to do. And I think that is so scary that these women are going to her in literally the most vulnerable time of their life.
And she's like low-key trying to jeopardize them. It's so scary.
One of the most high risk for death moments of their life, because women die usually by the hand of their partner or in childbirth. And that's for all races, which is really, really scary.
I know.
Which is really, really scary. So you're coming to her when
that actually just made me feel weird when you said that. I was like, oh my God.
I mean, to me, she should have been fired 500 years ago. I mean, especially the Buffy thing. That was, I mean, to do that to someone, I mean, anyone would feel sorry that someone can't have children, but to take that out on someone, I mean, like, it's just the most despicable thing. I don't know the pain because I'm not a woman, but I can sympathize with how deep that is, and to just throw that out there is actually probably one of the most careless things I've ever seen on reality television.
Didn't what's her face kind of do that with the turkey baster thing in New York? It was like less. It was not as severe.
Who and what? I know
The turkey.
in Beverly Hills, it's
What
why
is
No, in New York, what's her face?
what's the turkey base?
It was with God, why can't I think of their names? It's the old cast. And all of a sudden I can't remember their names. This is out of control. The one who was like, how you doing? She's like, not well, beep. You know what I mean? Like
Dorinda?
the one, yeah, Dorinda said it to what's her face?
Was it Sonia?
No, the younger girl that was living in
Tinsley.
Sonia's house. Yeah.
I
And
don't
that
know.
was a big that was a big thing. Yeah, it was a big thing then because people were coming down on her because she was like, oh, why don't you get your turkey baster out? Like talking about because she was trying to get pregnant with her then boyfriend at the time. And she was like
Oh,
making
I
comments like that
they
too.
had frozen eggs.
No, it wasn't with frozen. I don't know, but she was basically saying how like she probably couldn't get pregnant the regular way because she was 40 at the time or whatever, and she was saying she was basically insinuating like that she could be infertile and like that she wouldn't be able to like conceive children normally, and that she was desperate and blah 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 because she had this boyfriend who didn't want her to, and so like she was kind of like throwing stuff out like that, and everyone was like, "Whoa, that was way too far." I know it's not the same level, but just kind of like reminded me of it. Like it's like the same
Yeah,
category.
I'm kind of like
Almost.
that doesn't. I'm kind of like that's just kind of stupid. Like, oh, get out the turkey baster. Like, okay, but to be like, Buffy, you understand because you're infertile at a whole gala of people.
I never saw that. Is
knowing
that what
all
she
of
said?
Yeah, she literally said that, and
Like she full
literally
on
she said
said the word like infertile, like you are infertile. Like
and
yes
I'm
she's a
actually
doctor.
reading your
on the
medical.
stage on camera at an event, and then Buffy, you could see Buffy like just completely go crazy, and you had seen like her talk about it like internally crazy. But again, Jackie did that because it's ego.
Yikes.
It's like I'm talking about something with me, but I don't want you guys to look down on me because there's actually someone who's even worse off than me. Buffy, you understand because you're infertile. It was like that, like I'm talking about my blah blah blah, but
Yeah, it
like
was demeaning.
she's beneath me. Buffy, you get it. You're infertile.
Who said this?
The entire
Heavenly or Jackie?
Natasha, what is going on with you, Doctor?
Girl, I don't watch
mean,
that show. I can't keep track of all these doctors.
I mean, I don't know how
What do
the
you want
laws
from
work
me?
in. I don't know how the laws work in
I know the two
in
bad guys are
America, but
Jackie
like
and Heavenly. Okay, that's
I
all
don't
I
know how the
got.
laws work in
That's all
America,
I
but
got.
I'm surprised that the woman didn't lose her license over there. I mean, to me, to not lose your medical license, I mean, that was during that season. That was the most outrageous thing that's
Yeah, that
ever
is
been.
breaking HIPAA.
Because to me,
it wasn't because Dr. Jackie wasn't her doctor.
no, but
That's
I'm just saying
true.
for someone to announce that on national television for the whole world to see, I feel like out of humanity, I'm surprised that someone can
Yeah,
steal
don't you have a
people's
moral
license.
clause as a doctor?
I mean, that would never happen over here. Like if
It
that,
wasn't her patient. You're a doctor. You could say like, and you're talking about your friends that this friend is infertile, unless the friend came to you as a client. There's no HIPAA law doesn't apply to that.
I know.
Yeah,
It's
I
just.
agree. It's immoral and distasteful, but I don't think it's like
Yeah, you're right. Because, like,
legal.
I guess it's not. It's like kind of like a more indirect thing that you can't really, even though it does showcase an extreme like immoral decision making, but it's not really something that you could really, even if there was a moral clause when it comes to being a doctor, which I'm sure there is, kind of like with teaching and stuff. But I don't know.
I would say I'm gonna jump in right here.
Yeah.
So I am a home health aide, so there's certain things that I can't talk about when it comes to like my clients and stuff. But like it's different if like if you're talking to your friends or whatever about something and
Yeah.
like if your client has a certain condition, you can't talk about that on the outside. But if your friend has the condition, you can talk to your friend about that condition.
Yep.
So that's how that kind of works. but it's like you can't pick on somebody for a condition if you're taking care of people with that condition. That don't make sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So that's where it's more, yeah, Jackie, she needs to go somewhere.
Like, yeah,
Yeah.
you
Yeah. She
actually
she she
treat people
literally
with
does.
this condition, but then you're using it as an insult on a reality TV show. Like, make that make sense.
It's beyond. Uh,
Especially
going
since she's
back.
a woman as well.
I mean, going back to Potomac, Candy. You know how you said when you were giving your overview
I
how
forgot that we were on that show.
you know how you were saying when you were giving your overview before we all joined
Okay.
that you believe that Wendy was like told by, I don't know, the president or one of the deans, like, resign, girl, or we're gonna fire you either way.
Yeah.
Why do you think a university would have allowed her in the first place? Like, the idea that, I mean, if you were in Wendy's class, I think, I personally, I don't know about you, I would just be laughing. But the fact my professor's on the reality TV program, like,
Well, why would they allow it in the first place? I think number one, I'm not exactly sure, but I think she was like an adjunct professor. Isn't that different from like a
I
that
don't think
just
she was a head professor. Yeah.
that
right? I
that
think
that just means you come in at least just you just come in once or twice a week
yeah,
instead of 5 days.
yeah. So I think that it's a little bit different, and I think that like why wouldn't they allow it in the beginning? They probably thought it would be good press. Maybe they didn't really understand the situation. Like, I don't see why they wouldn't allow it in the beginning. But I think as Potomac continued, and especially with like the violence that happened on it, and then Wendy being a part of one of those things, unfortunately, she got, a drink thrown at her and a purse thrown at her and all this other stuff. I think that they probably wanted to disassociate.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Um,
Remember when John
But I
Hopkins
can
had to
understand,
put
like,
that warning?
why would they,
They were like, yeah, John Hopkins does not condone or
does not
whatever.
condone and all this stuff. And so I think that now after that season and everything going on, they probably want to separate from it. And I also think that in the beginning, they probably thought it would be good publicity. Oh, one of our professors is on TV, they're on a show. Maybe they didn't really understand everything. But I think as it continued, and then also when Wendy first came on, she was a very different person than she is now.
she
When Wendy
was.
first came on, she dressed different, she talked different, she acted different. She was like, I'm Wendy, I'm 4 degrees, I'm a professor, and I do political commentary. She was a completely different person. And the next season, she was busted open Wendy. She was wearing, the sheen, the Forever 21. She had the wigs and the color, and she got her boobs done. She was busting it and popping it and doing it. And I'm not saying one was better or one was better or worse. You do you. I have no judgment here. I personally don't care. But vastly different.
Yeah.
Vastly different. And then also you see her on the show every season. She's one of those housewives. There's a lot of housewives like that, where it's like every season it's a different quote business. So she went from being 4 degrees to being like, oh, I have a candle line, to oh, I want to be Black Martha Stewart, to
Yeah.
like, oh no, I want to be the next Wendy Williams. I want to do this podcast. I want to do a talk with Dr. Wendy.
Nigerian lounge.
Now she wanted to do the Nigerian lounge with the scammer, with Peter the scammer. That didn't work out. So I also think she kind of evolved and changed, and every single season it's kind of a different. Like, what is she doing this season? What's her job this season? I don't know. What happened to what happened to all that stuff, right? So I think that going into it, Wendy was buttoned out 4 degrees professor. Why would they say no? But I think the way that it evolved, and then with everything, I think they're probably like, we want to disassociate. We no longer want to be a part of it. And not
Yeah.
just Potomac and not just Wendy, but also I would say over the last 18 months, year, 2 years even, we've all collectively have talked about how dark and toxic reality TV itself has gotten.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of conversation about the housewives and other reality TV shows, Reality Reckoning, and, not just Bravo, but like all of it, how it's gotten really dark and violent and toxic and unhealthy. So I think the conversation around reality TV has changed so much. They probably want to separate a bit. And I think and it just seemed very weird and so And a lot with Wendy and Eddie. I like Wendy and Eddie. I think they're boring, but I like them. But a lot of them see it's always very clearly scripted what they say on the show.
Yeah,
Very,
Yeah,
I
I mean,
agree.
I mean
very
that scene when she
clearly
was
scripted.
doing the
And that whole
email to
scene was so
resign.
like, she was like, Eddie, can you believe it? I'm gonna quit. I can't believe it. I just
Yeah,
feel like, blah, 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 turning 40, doing it without my mom's permission. Again, that's not cute. You're 40 plus at this point, and you're talking about mommy's permission. It's not cute. It's not doing what you think it is. It's giving very unhealthy, very weird. Like in real life, if you're talking to somebody and they're in their early 40s and they're talking about, yeah, I just quit my job without my mommy's permission, you would be like, get me the hell away from this person. Because that's not a healthy adult. Even if somebody's 25, like say I'm on a date with a guy, he's 25, 26, 27. And he's like, oh my, he's like, yeah, Candy, I just quit my job without my mommy's permission. I would be like, and check, because that's weird. So again, it's not doing what you think it's doing. And it just seemed to me that they were like, look, we think it's ran its course and we give you the option to leave on your own terms, which is what they usually do when it comes to professors, unless there is a massive, massive public scandal where it's like it's in their best interest from a PR standpoint or a legal standpoint to initiate cutting ties. Usually they'll say, we're not going to renew your contract. We'll give you the option to walk away. Because the
Yeah.
whole thing with the email was so performative and so stupid and so scripted and so obvious that she was not asked back. Because the thing is, being adjunct or even a regular professor, all you would have to do is take a sabbatical and
a
just say, I'm
hundred,
taking a semester
a
off,
hundred.
or I'll come back after 2 years. They do it all the time. They do it to travel. They do it to write books.
Yeah.
They do it to guest seminar all the time. But like writing
Mm-hmm.
this, like, very performative email that sounded like a ninth grader, like, dear teacher, hope you are well. I was unable to complete my book report because that's how it sounded. I'm like,
My
what?
dog ate it.
Yeah. And I'm like, what? So, yeah, it just seemed very performative. And I like her and Eddie, but I think a lot of their scenes, they clearly script.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
really hope.
it's
Well, you go ahead.
it's not organic. It's not organic. Um, but I don't know. I just think personally, I think she it's just nice that she had like a selfless job being a professor. That's a nice selfless career. But to me, when it comes to the personality, like I had this myself with my own professors.
Mhm.
When you remove the academia, like they're just a bit plain because uh, and to me, to be plain. And the other thing that kind of it wasn't just also that she was having a brand new business every single season. I mean, the thing that to me is it's always a different story and a different personality. As much as Giselle is
Mhm.
this calculated, messy person, just like Ashley, at
At least
least they're
she's
not.
consistent.
At least they're not swapping every episode or every season. I mean, to me, it's just confusing with her. And even though Mia's been toxic and what have you, and just disgusting towards Karen, if I had to fire one person, it probably would be Wendy.
Oh no, I would do Mia, absolutely.
Because Wendy to me is just a sticker on the wall or a fly on
I'll
I'm
the
kill
wall.
sorry,
two
but I
birds
would
with one
pick. I
stone and
would
get rid of
pick.
Ashley and Mia.
Yeah, I would pick. To get rid of evil over boring any day of the week. Period.
I was gonna jump in for like the Wendy of it all. I really hope this is Wendy's best season. Like I don't want her to be on the defense no more. I want her to be herself. I want her to be gracious and like because she's a very very beautiful woman, and I do think she has an identity crisis. I do. And maybe it's a cultural thing since she is from, is it Nigeria? Yeah, I think she's from
Yeah,
Nigeria.
yeah.
So I know it's different from me where I'm, just an African American and growing up. Yeah, so I think she's really having like a very identity crisis with these ladies. That's why she has a different personality every season. And like I said before, every season Wendy's been on except for her first one. She always been on the defense. And also like season 5 when she was on there, she was on the show when the first physical altercation ever happened. So yeah, I don't think the professor world was like, oh, they is full blown brawling and on the show.
Right?
and
They're like,
then
is she
you only
joining
there for like
WWE? What's going on?
so yeah, and then she got a drink thrown on her. Like everything about Wendy is like defense, 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 and the only thing she has is her 4 degrees. So I feel like hopefully that like now that she's not a professor, she can finally be herself, so she can not be boring. Because other than that, Wendy is not an interesting person at all. Like she's
Yeah,
really
she's
not.
plain. She's plain.
Yes, and I feel like I said, I
And
feel like
that's
she's
fine, but it's
yeah.
just like not great for like TV. But like anyone that you want to hang out with usually is not great for TV.
'Cause I just feel like she's just like a fun little. She said her little one lines be funny. Like I feel like it's cute how she's like kind of shocked that Giselle is nice to her. I think that's kind of cute. I'm really interested in that. So I just hope, like I said, I hope she comes into herself this season. But if she don't, I will be fine without her. Um, but yeah, I would say I am gonna head out. I do want to ask one question for Candy.
Yeah.
Did y'all? Well, this is for the whole panel, but I am gay. Am
Okay.
I keeping something with Stacy's friend?
Look.
Boom, we already talked about
Oh yeah,
that.
we talked
Oh, I,
about.
I said I missed the line.
Yeah,
No,
he
So I
you're
was
did.
just
okay.
wondering.
I'll
He's
break it
another
down.
fake guy, Eddie. He's another
Hold on.
fake
I'm
guy,
gonna break
Eddie.
it down with the quote that Stacy said
Okay.
because I am with you. And just a disclaimer, real quick, for any new candy canes in the house, we talk about sexuality, we talk about identity, we talk about it all, but we talk about it from a way of love and
Yeah.
inclusivity. So if you're gay, you can get it. If you're straight, you can get it. If you're fluid, you can get it. We talk about it. So it is what it is.
We
I
judge everyone. All.
yeah, equal opportunity judges. And I think TJ isn't 100% for with the girls, if that makes sense.
Okay.
He's for the girls, but he's not with the girls. You know what?
That's a really good way to with the girls. He's not with the girls.
He's not. You know what I mean?
If
But
you
think
know what I
about it.
mean, he's just like not with the girls.
So this is what Stacy said, because I wrote it down because I was like, "Excuse me." When the producers asked, because as you know, Stacy has been saying, "Oh, Natasha, I think you're scratching something." Um,
Sorry.
no, you're okay, sweetheart. So when Stacy was saying how her and TJ aren't having sex until marriage because he's quote religious, and then the producer was like, "Oh, is he a virgin?" She says, "Quote: He's had other partners. He doesn't want to be
Uh,
intimate with a woman unless she's going to be his wife." And then when they were at the gym and she goes, "What percent do you want, like a scale of 1 to 10 or whatever it was?" Do you want percent? He was like, "K." And she was like, "What does that mean?" He's like, "0." Excuse
Zero
me?
girl, you know.
But she had a little twinkle in her eye, a little smirk on her face when she said that about, partners. This is what I think. I think, and again, this is just my opinion. Stacey, don't come after me. This is just my opinion. I have no facts on this. I think Stacy, maybe even her husband, I think behind the scenes they're probably a little freaky deaky. Swing this way, swing that way, do what you want to do. No judgment. I don't care. I think Stacy knows exactly who TJ is,
uh-huh.
who and what he is into. She probably doesn't care. She's probably into it too because she had that little sly little look on her face. And I think that she just wants to make her husband jealous by saying, "Oh, I have someone too." Because, and again, my gut, I think the husband was cheating on her, wants to leave her for the mistress. That's just what this whole situation is giving. I don't
Mm-hmm.
think she wants this divorce. I think this divorce is happening to her. And I
Uh-huh.
think that she wants TJ, for company, for comfort, for storyline. But do I think for 1 second TJ is a
with the girls.
is into her and wants to marry her, and that's and the reason why they're not having sex is because of his religion. In my opinion, I don't believe that at all.
Okay.
What do
See,
you
I
think?
really wanted to know what y'all thought because, like, I, you know, I, I have my little side eye. I was like,
Yes,
is she? I think she's very intelligent. I think Stacey is very intelligent. So
yes,
I feel like
she
she's
knows.
intelligent enough to know when someone is not into you.
Mm-hmm.
So I was just like, okay, maybe it's something I'm not getting, and also
No,
with the whole, like religious aspect of it, I feel like
mm-mm.
that's like a double red flag, double.
Thank you. That's what I
So
was saying.
because I'm in this thing, and I'm just like,
Mm-hmm.
girl, what Whoopi say, girl, you're in danger, you mind
You a
run.
danger girl. But I
So
think she knows. I think it's because go back because I listen to what people say, and I also watch because it's always in
mhm,
the body language and the eyes. Go back and watch that confessional. She
Is a
has
smirk. There's an
I
a
will.
upturned
smirk
corner of her
and
mouth.
in her
Yeah.
eye. I think she knows. Let me put it this way. I don't think that she is an unwilling beard, and I don't think he's an unwilling beard for her. Not that she's necessarily only into girls, but I think that this is a mutually beneficial situation, whether he wants to be on TV and she wants storyline. I don't
I
think
think
that
it's storyline,
I don't think
personally.
that he is what do you call it? I don't think he's bamboozling her. I think
Okay.
that whatever is going on, I think they're in it together because I think she's much smarter than she lets on.
Yeah, I think
Much
she's
smarter.
very
And he
intelligent.
wants to join her home shopping network career.
Uh,
Yeah.
anyways, Candy, I've got a dip because it's like,
I
uh,
gotta go too. I
Okay.
gotta go brush my
thanks.
teeth and wash my face and do my
Sounds good. I need
skincare.
to do my skincare too because I've been slacking lately, and I'm like, I cannot.
Yeah,
Sorry.
thanks
I
for the
know you can't drop the ball on that. You'll regret it later.
thanks for the banter
Always.
and yeah. So I will come to the fake New York and Salt
Are
Lake
you
City.
coming to Beverly Hills tomorrow?
I mean,
What?
come to
Is
Beverly
that
Hills.
out now too? This is too
No,
much.
it's
No,
not out. I'm just gonna do like a
we're not
recap
going to
of
get a
like
Beverly Hills trailer until at least Friday this week or next week because
I'm not doing
because
the trailer, Adam.
yeah. All right, well, I'll come to that. I mean, that would be more entertaining than the fake New York, but 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 thanks for the banter
Always. I love you.
and Team Karen, and I know, but we can agree to disagree about Heavenly.
And justice
Don't
for
say her name
Gordon.
anymore.
Justice for
It's like,
Gordon. Justice for Karen.
100%. All right, night, you.
Bye. Oh my god, he said y'all.
Much love.
good night, Adam. Johnny, you have been amazing.
Yeah, this is my first time doing this. I
You
was
are
nervous.
an official candy cane.
Yay.
You gotta come hang out with us anytime. We absolutely love you.
Thank you so much. It was actually really fun. This was my first time doing this. I was like, you know what? Let me just bite the bullet, jump on here, say my
Yes.
little opinions about these ladies, because that's what the show is for. They want us to have our opinions, and
Mm-hmm.
it was fun. I like I said, I don't have no like housewife friends. I have friends, but I don't have housewife friends. So it was
No.
fun.
No, same. Why do you
They
think
would
I
not get what I'm
have a
talking
YouTube
about if I'm
channel?
talking about this.
Like I needed to talk to somebody because I was just talking to myself.
So yeah, I will most definitely join the Beverly Hills panel. I'm gonna try to be mentally prepared for that. Oh my goodness.
Yes, yes.
Um,
I'm just gonna talk about what's going on currently since we don't have a season. I'm just gonna be like, this is what's going on. Let's just talk and hang out.
I really can't wait to hop on a Salt Lake City panel with y'all because I feel like they are the most chaotic group of all the housewives. So that's
Thursday
gonna be
night.
fun.
So mark your
Uh,
calendar. We're doing it Thursday night around the same exact time.
all right. Well, I must meet y'all there. It was so
Yay!
much fun.
You too. Mwah.
You have a
Love
good
you.
night.
You too, sweetheart. So much fun. Shout out to my amazing panel. Thank you, Natasha. Thank you, Adam. Thank you, Johnny. And thank you, Miss T, my mod, for holding me down. Okay, so she says, why do you think Stacey felt the need to share the sex part? Again, I just think it's like, one, I think she thinks it's going to be an interesting storyline. And two, there might be something baked in around, even though she's separated from her husband, getting a divorce, he's seeing somebody else. I actually think there might be a little bit of, I haven't slept with anybody other than my husband. Morality for her daughter baked into why saying that. Because she talked about how she was pissed at Ashley for spilling the tea about TJ, and she was thinking about, her daughter's mental health and everything. There still might be some type of, morality, virginality of women, purity, that like, yes, I'm seeing another friend, but I still haven't had sex with anybody other than my husband because we're not divorced yet. There might be some of that baked in there too, because that's the societal thing. That's, what goes on in our head. So there could be some of that. Thank you so much from Enthusiast. Miss Dugan, what's up? Hey, Angel Hall. How are you? Who else is in the chat box? Hey, Emmanuel. Hey, SW. Hey, Love the T24. Hey, Candy. Hey, Annie. Hey, Reality Connoisseur. Yay! All right, you guys, we're going to call it a night. As always, be sure to like, subscribe, and share. And also join us, hit the notification bell. We're going to do Beverly Hills tomorrow night. New York on Wednesday, Salt Lake City on Thursday, and OC on Friday. So we have a booked up week. Mwah! I love you guys. Bye.